So we went down to Comicpalooza 2 weekends ago.
Whoa.
You got so sick. You're still sick.
I'm relentlessly sick. Every breath I take, I'm like so close to coughing, and it's gonna be the wackest, most like grandma who's been smoking since the 1910s.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
This is not going to be a good episode.
It's great already. Don't worry. Listen, I want you to know I feel fantastic.
That's awesome,
so
man.
I'll carry, the weight of this episode on my shoulders like I usually do.
Yeah, I'll crawl right onto your shoulders, and I'm just going to wheeze into your face.
Yeah, just a sucking lung wound.
Yeah, that's me.
But the weirdest part about Comicpalooza, outside of the fact that you got the suds,
Yeah.
was when you made the entire audience, your entire Has Been a Hotel audience, see Kyle. I think that was kind of weird for me personally.
I simply didn't do that.
I think it was weird that was like the way you went about it. You were like,
Yeah.
guys, how do we do the sign language for B? And everyone was like,
Yeah,
and you're like, hey, listen, good job. And
It's
everyone
absolutely
started,
not
I don't like
my
how everyone
fault
was
that-
looking at me.
It's not my fault that the Germans came up with the sign language for the letter B.
Yeah.
So for context, as I sweat,
Actually, no context here. So moving on to Windbreaker, really good couple of episodes here, yeah?
As I sweat my illness out right now.
Yep.
We did go to Comicpalooza.
Yep.
It was very fun. I was doing a tier list for Has Been Hotel, and apparently I was trying to figure out how to make it like interactive. And I was like, all right.
Outside of yelling at them.
Yeah, outside screaming with my rapidly degenerating voice. And I was like, who wants this character in like A or B or whatever? And a lot of people started hitting me with the Heil Hitler. And I was like,
See Kyle.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, and then you say Heil Hitler. Like any good German knows.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just say see Kyle, but I don't know.
I suppose
They
so.
were yelling it at my people. We
Yeah.
weren't the ones doing the yelling.
And everybody was hitting me with the diagonal hand.
B, apparently this is how you do the sign language for B. For those of you who are listening in an audio medium, it's kind of like the 3-finger thing from Hunger Games, right?
It's just 4. It's just
but it's
like
4
showing
fingers with
someone 4.
a thumb in. But a lot of people are like holding it out towards us, right?
It's like out and diagonal. And so
Yeah.
when they wanted a B, I didn't tell them to do this. Some people just started doing it, and I was like, what is this? And they're like, this sign language for B. And I was like, we gotta straighten these hands because
or make them floppier. Like,
Yeah.
just like
Or just flop it down.
Find a region somewhere in the mid chest to
just
put the
do a
hand.
different thing. Do like
Do the bloods
yeah,
B.
just do 1/5 of the bloods. Never mind. Nick is really struggling to do this.
Oh my god, I haven't contorted my ow.
Just to do the B.
I haven't
Nick.
contorted. I'm trying to fucking throw my gang
Wow.
signs.
How long's it been? It's been 5 minutes. We've got a Sieg Heil and a gang sign.
Blood. You ever think this is
We're
actually?
back.
Do you ever think this is actually what they did?
We're
like I know
back.
people are like, don't do this anymore, but like I seriously doubt there was actual bloods walking around being like, hold up, let me get my ring finger around here.
Cracking their fingers.
Just like ow, ow, ow.
No, that's definitely like something middle schoolers and middle schoolers only design.
We figured it out.
Yeah.
We were fucking rocking that shit. But Comicpalooza was awesome.
It was awesome.
We saw John Cena.
We didn't. I never once saw him.
You didn't see him?
Did you?
You weren't fucking supposed to. Let's go. You didn't see the you didn't see the 42-inch suit.
I was too busy getting plastered with Oscar Martinez from The Office.
Oh my god, we have so many a tale. We have so many a tale here. Where do we even start, really? Yeah, so Danny embarrassed himself in front of Oscar from The Office. We were in the green room, and for a little bit of context here, we were asked specifically when being invited to this con, don't be weird in the green room. They're like, we're gonna have legitimate A-listers, legitimate A-listers in the green room. You can't run up to them. You can't ask for TikToks. You can't do YouTube stuff. And we're like,
This con did not want us there.
also, let me tell you right now, they didn't have A-listers. Let me tell you right now. Like it wasn't it wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio walking back. There was John Heder from Blades
Napoleon
of Glory
Dynamite.
and Napoleon Dynamite, and he was like talking to somebody like, "Oh, what have you been in recently?" He's like, "One of the Tremors movies." We're like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah, don't be weird to him.
Yeah, don't be weird to him. The 3 least popular people from The Office. Because they had Creed Bratton there, Oscar Martinez, and
David Wallace.
Yeah, but didn't stop Danny from being weird.
Yeah, well, so Oscar Martinez is there, and I just like briefly see him, like we're on our way out of the green room, and Oscar Martinez is there. And since like I've watched so much of The Office, my brain was like, I wasn't starstruck. I like bypassed being starstruck. My brain did something way worse, which was assume that I knew him personally.
Yep.
And so I see him, And I turn and I wave, and he like looks at me so uncomfortably, and like he was clearly trying to like piece together where he'd known me from before. And I was like, and I like smile and give a head nod. I'm like, Oscar, it's me.
Yeah, of course, Oscar, it's me, your best friend.
They're like, Oscar, it's me, Danny Motta. What's wrong with you? And then you kind of like pull me out, and he's like, hey, like looking all awkward. And then I like walk out with you, and I was like, what have I done?
Okay, I waved at Oscar Martinez.
I was like, I waved at Oscar as if I knew him. And you were like, oh, that's funny. And I was like, yeah, it's probably fine. We got like 10 steps in. And I was like, should I go back and apologize?
Nice to meet you. I'm Oscar Martinez. I'm Danny. Nice to meet you.
Nice to Danny. My name is Oscar.
Don't ask how my hands are wet. I went to the bathroom. It's from washing them. Yeah, so there was it was a lot of fun. It was
awesome.
We got worked like dogs. Like
Yeah,
dogs, we got worked. Oh my god, did we have a lot of work.
We did 9 panels. We didn't see any of the con.
No. Me and Danny were just trying to like the con hall closed at like 7 or something, and me and Danny were working from like 12 to 5 every day. And so we were like, I'm not getting to the con at 11 a.m.
Yep.
And like by the time 6 o'clock rolled around, I've already done 4 hours of content, and I was like, I just want to go to bed. I want to go to bed. It's also kind of our fault, though, because we did super make all of our PowerPoints the night before.
I'm a procrastinator.
I am not.
I really like regressed into my old college habits.
Yeah.
Where like weeks before I'd like make the PowerPoint and I get stressed about having to do it. And I was like, I need to unwind. And I would play like 7 hours of a video game and then just wait.
And get like way more wound up. You just make a fucking Elden Ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's good. And then we watched Madam Web together.
I loved Madam Web
Danny
so
did.
much.
Danny, like we were all expecting what's the movie we were all expecting a Scarlet Letter diatribe. I don't think the people who came to our live like taping of our podcast expected so much Madam Web talk.
I talked a lot about Madam Web. I talked a lot about Camp Rock.
Yep.
We did a lot of so at the con, there is a lot to talk about. Because at the con,
it was 3 very full days of content.
Well, at one point, this is also what happened on the like live recording of the podcast that's up on Patreon. So one of the days at my panel, I like go up, I'm at my little like stage, and on the table is a tiny little like playing card sized portrait of me, of what I'm wearing that day.
Yeah.
And it says, love your work, a Gus is what it signed. And I pick it up, I'm like, does anybody know who did this, who left this here? And no one knew. Everyone shook their head. And I was like, this is a calling card? Am I about to be fucking assassinated?
Absolutely.
And next to it is an SD card.
Yep.
Like an unmarked SD card. And I'm like, does anyone know what this is? And they're like, no. And I'm like, the fuck is going on? Am I about to be like fucking blackmailed for everything I have?
Yeah, because you got Ava. They're just like, come back home.
And so in the recording, we did like a live OA episode that's like 40 minutes long. We're just kind of like bouncing back and forth with the audience. And a lot of that recording is us trying to get some SD card converter to play whatever's on this thing.
And just like series of volunteers who are either fans or just like happen to be by, like, here, use my computer to use my SD card reader. And we're like, this could be terabytes of porn.
Yeah.
Like this could be incriminating.
Yeah. It was nothing.
It was nothing.
It was just an
you
empty
stole somebody
SD
else's
card.
SD card is what happened. Yeah.
So I just have someone's 16 gigabyte borderline useless SD
16
card.
gigabytes is like what, 20 minutes of like 1080p content? Like it's nothing.
Yeah. So that happened. We talked a lot about Madam Web and Camp Rock.
Madam Web's the greatest movie ever made. That's the conclusion we came to.
So we were in our hotel room, and Nick was...
My hotel room.
Yeah, we're in Nick's hotel room.
We unfortunately didn't get to share a hotel room.
No.
Which is crazy, because they very much established that there was not space for you to have your own room.
I know, which is funny. But I was like, so the first night we're like, oh, dope, we got our own rooms. And then I go into my room, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, this is boring. This is taking all the fun out of the boys' weekend that
Danny
this
calls
was supposed
me
to
at
be.
midnight when I'm about to call Dorothy, like, and go to bed. And he's like, what are you up to? And I was like, I just imagine him sitting on the edge of the bed, like kicking his feet up. And I was like, nice, good.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? Are you
doing?
having fun?
You want to
Are you
hang
having
out?
fun without me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, we should hang out tomorrow.
Yeah, we made plans.
Yeah.
And I was like, we are legally contracted to be with each other for the next 2 days.
And so then the next day, I was like, look, we'll hang out, but I got work to do because I got to get this Legend of Korra like presentation done.
Yep.
Because I was sweating it out. And I go to your room and we toss on Madam Web for some like background noise, and I got no work done.
Enthralled in the movie. You put your computer fully down.
Yeah. I was
Meanwhile,
great.
I finished the entire PowerPoint while also enjoying myself.
Impossible. That movie requires all your attention.
It genuinely does, and we should do a rewatch for Patreon at some point because it is peak.
It's awesome. I've watched it again.
No way.
I watched it this week.
You son of a bitch.
It's great. I love where we're like introduced to the villain and he's like in a vision. By the way, anything anyone's told you about Madam Web? Because when it came out, everybody was like, oh, it's not so bad that it's good. It's just boring. It's just mid.
Nope.
It's awesome.
It's way more fun than it should be.
It's a blast. But we're introduced to the villain and he's like, he's got like this spider terrarium in his house because he's like a Cuban Spider Man.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of Spider Men.
Oh yeah, there's also like a bunch of Spider-Men in like the jungle.
In Peru, yeah.
That they simply never expand on.
Yeah, there's a Peruvian spider society. And he like captures one of these spiders and he's got this terrarium and he goes out into his living room and he's like, where is my spider?
My
Someone has
spider."
taken my spider. And it's awesome. I love
great.
it. Yeah.
The entire movie is poorly ADR'd, as you've heard. Like, it is like, there is 7-8 moments where the dub just doesn't match up with his voice. It's like an 80s Hong Kong, like kung fu movie. It's crazy.
They re-recorded all the antagonists' lines.
Yeah.
I looked it up. I don't know. I'd love to know what the original lines were. Because they're not better.
No,
they're
they're
not
not.
Good.
He must have been speaking another language or something. Like, genuinely, they're like, speaking Spanish the whole movie, we'll do subtitles. And then they're like, actually, this movie does not deserve subtitles. It had to be that or something.
It's so funny. It was awesome. There was a line where, what's her name? Madam Web herself is like watching, what's it called? A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
She's watching like Scrooge. And he's like, you know, the movie's going on. And then it like cuts to her and she's like, hate to break it to you, Scrooge, but you can't change anything.
Nice.
And it's like, fucking.
Also, like the three lines of dialogue she has with her cat. She's like, oh, hey, guess us strays stick together. It's like, shut the fuck up. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so
chatty
bad.
with her cat.
They fully put Sydney Sweeney in her spider suit for like 2 seconds. Now I'm going to show, we also got a lot of really cool stuff at Comicpalooza. Shout out to everybody who gave us everything, especially Shay Sketches.
Yeah. Taylor Shay. If you want to find her on Instagram, makes really cool art, really cool voice actor, made the sickest piece of fan art we've ever received.
It's so dope. Me and Danny, this actually made me and Danny realize something kind of crucial though, and it's that when we're both drawn, we're the same person.
We are very similar looking.
Yes, but that's not even anybody's fault. Like, it's just like, if we're going to be comic-fied, we just look the same.
We showed Dorothy this, and the first thing she said was, wow, they gave you muscles. And I crumbled.
Yeah,
it was devastating.
Yeah, that was a bit tough. That was a bit tough to hear. They also gave you arm hair and not me arm hair, which I appreciate.
That's just a fact.
That's just the way that it goes.
They gave you, Taylor gave you your tattoos.
Yes, which was also like
hype.
very impressive, like how close they are to like actually being my tattoo.
Yeah.
In fact, the tattoo I have there looks better than the upper right tattoo I have now. But anyways, yeah. So
that's
really
awesome.
fun weekend.
Yeah, it was sick. We had
Your Has Been Hotel panel had like 200 people pull up to it.
Yeah,
Danny
tons.
had the biggest fucking panel of the weekend out of either of us, and they didn't even want him there.
They want me specifically there.
Yeah.
And Nick, they begrudgingly invited. And we were so we were on these stages that were like on the show floor.
Yeah.
So we're like competing.
There's 5 of these stages in a row, 50-person occupancy.
Yeah. Like only 50 people could be there. And it's like the benefit of it is you could have like passerbys come by. The downside is audibly you're competing with everybody, which is also why my voice was cooked. And I got sick, which did not help.
Yep.
But so you're competing with everybody. And there's like not enough chairs.
No.
And so like,
well, there for every other panel on those 5 stages all weekend, there was enough chairs.
Yeah.
For all 4 of our panels on that table, there wasn't enough.
which was awesome.
All
like
6, I guess. Yeah.
tons of people came, which was super sick. We had a great time meeting everybody. We like after our panels, we just kind of like hung out until the next panel because we're just chain smoking the Pink Pearl
Dude, the
stage.
Pink Pearl stage was like our
We had
bitch.
that locked down.
It was our bitch for 3 days.
We hung out, chatted with a lot of people, met a lot of super cool folks. And yeah, it was awesome. It was like a banger of a weekend.
It was very fun.
That led to the worst week of my life because I'm
2 weeks.
Have you ever gotten high? Well, no, the week before I was like just vocal strain. I was just like wearing myself thin. The week after, I'm actually sick.
Yep.
And have you ever?
And you have an infection.
Have you ever gotten like virus, like a throat virus?
Nice.
Which is hype.
Yep. You need the spider.
I have a spider.
You need a spider bite.
I have a spider in my throat. Yeah, I went to the urgent care and they were like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Is it the spider?
Is it the spider?
Yeah,
That's my spider."
But they. Oh no! Have you ever gotten so drunk or so high that you're like drunk or high the next day?
Yes.
And you're terrified you'll never go back to a normal state of being?
That's just called doing acid. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's me right now. I'm doing acid.
You're doing acid? Yeah. Honestly, at this point, anything would probably make you feel better than you currently do.
Yeah. I just splashed water in my eye.
Nice.
Thinking that. I wish I was dead.
Yeah, and yet you're here with me. So we have a lot to break down this week. A huge amount of news. Well, not really news.
Yeah. Can I do news real quick right now?
News?
I have a piece of news I found out in the car, in the parking.
Where you're like listening to the radio and they're like huge anime news.
I was in your driveway.
94.5.
I was in your driveway and I was like, showtime. That was another thing from the con, Nick. So the first day of the con, I'm sweating it out because I have these tier lists, I have these presentations. I'm not good at TED Talks.
I think everybody who listens to this podcast knew just how nervous we were for this weekend. Last weekend.
People came to the con and were like, I showed up because Nick was so stressed nobody would be here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And also,
that was like kind of my strategy. That was like my strategy was like, guilt these motherfuckers, Nick, guilt them.
I had like 6 people come up to me and be like, you're way shorter than I thought you'd be. And I was like, hey, fuck off.
It was that, or your arms are really hairy, like something like that. People came up to you and just like said mean shit.
Yeah, more people came. Like my Has Been Hotel panel had the most people at it out of all of our panels.
Yeah,
wasn't worth dozens of people coming up to me, looking me up and down, and being like, "You could hardly take one wolf."
You also got fucking yipped by a 14-year-old girl your entire Has Been Hotel panel, and it was so funny.
I got heckled during my entire
wrecked. Thing. Oh my god.
But I don't remember where I was going with this. I wish I was dead. Oh, I was in the parking lot of the driveway.
Yes.
Oh, and that led to someone enjoying this, the worst
fucking
episode.
Land the plane already. Holy shit.
I was Nick came to my hotel room. We're like 2 hours before our panel, and he's like, "How you doing, bud?" I'm feeling great, and I'm like,
oh yeah. Oh, that was a phlegmy one.
Oh yeah. I was like pacing a trench like into my carpet.
Yeah.
And I told Nick, I was like, before you got here, I woke up at 7 a.m. and I would run bits in my head. My neighbors must have thought I was like schizophrenic because I'm just like, chew your nuts. Oh, what the fuck? That sucks. That sucks.
It's stupid.
And I'm like, but rumpa, more like don't go. They're gonna hate this. They're gonna hate this. What if I just disappoint her?
I also love that the one bit you did have planned for was having a Rompo tier and then not putting Rompo in it and only putting Octagawa in it, and then everyone was like,
everyone was like, "That's fine," and I was like, "Okay, all right,
cool."
I'm floundering. But so Nick got
stop leaving.
Nick got there and he was like, "What have you been up to?" And because I'm like doing bits, I'm like running bits at him.
He was the most chaotic I've ever seen him. He's like, "How you doing, kid? How you doing? Here's some candy. Here's some money. Go get yourself something nice." And I'm like, "Oh my god, leave me alone."
Yeah, Nick was like, "You are nervous. You've never been this funny off camera to me." And I was like, "Here's what I've been doing, Nick. I pace back again. I look in the mirror. I slick back my hair, and I go." Showtime. And I pace again, and I pace back. I look in the mirror, I slick my hair back, and I go, Showtime. I've been doing that since 7 a.m. It's 1 p.m.
Yeah, it was not working for him at all.
Yeah, but it went well. Everybody liked the panels, I think.
I think everyone liked the panels.
I think so.
I think they like your has-been one because I was up there though.
Yeah, Nick did a has-been thing, but anyway, so I'm in my car, about to do this podcast. I'm sick, and so I'm doing a little showtime. Yeah. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. We're gonna rock the house. And I'm scrolling through. I'm doom scrolling on TikTok.
I love that sometimes you just get here and you're like a dad who doesn't want to go home to his family. You just sit in the car with the car running. You're like, oh.
Yeah, Nick scared me once.
And I'm like sitting, like looking out the window, like, honey, come inside.
I was like, after the pod, I'm like in the car once, and I'm just like doom scrolling. Nick like bangs on my window, and he's like, "Go home."
It was 35 minutes after you had left. I fully had watched an episode of anime, hung out with Dorothy. 30 minutes after Danny left my house and be like, bye. He's just sitting in his car outside.
Like,
scrolling.
You don't understand. This is my time.
I don't have this at home.
Yeah, but so I'm doom scrolling, and I saw piece of breaking news. Have you heard about this? It's Pokimane. Have you heard anything about Pokimane? I got Pokimane news.
The cookie company owner.
What?
I don't know. I think she owns a cookie company or something.
No, she's a streamer.
I know, but I think she also owns it. You know how like big streamers are like, I do a thing now.
Yeah, I also own a vodka. Me, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. No, it's
or gin.
Gin. There we go.
Aviator gin. Yeah. Anyway.
What's the one? What's the one with the pizza chain that everyone hates?
Papa John.
Yeah, ironic that there's two of them actually.
Oh yeah, different one?
David Dobrik. He has Dobrik Pizza. I think it went under.
That's clever.
Same thing with
I never
Beast
even heard of
Burgers.
it. Danny DeVito's all over
Subway.
What?
He
No,
loves Subway.
not Subway.
Oh, Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's.
That's what
He's
it
like,
is.
if it ain't fresh, it's
not DeVito.
He's like, if it's not a sandwich,
It's the trash man. Like, Danny, help, please. You're 85.
they have him on the phone for 45 seconds, and they're like, Danny, please pitch us something. And he's like, if it's not sandwich, it's a hamburger.
And they're like, that's it. We fucking run it.
They're
Absolutely.
like, we have to run it. That's all we could afford.
So what's going on with Pokimane?
Pokimane had to fire her editor because
He wasn't getting her videos done because he was too busy yorking it to him?
he was jorking it.
That's fucking all time.
Allegedly, she said he didn't say that he was yorking it to her.
Okay.
But she had to
he
fire
was
his
just too
editor.
busy jorking.
Yeah, so his editor was missing deadlines, and he calls her and he's like, we gotta talk. I've been so behind on this work because I can't stop jorking it. Yeah. And the headline was literally like, Pokimane fires editors because he can't stop jorking it. And I was like, this has to be my news. It simply has to be.
The only reason I know this news is because Cody texted me and said, same reason I'm falling behind. So yeah.
That's insane. Even if that's one of the few instances where honesty is not the best policy.
Oh, absolutely not. Be like, hey, dog died or something. I'd be like, hey, man, listen, I just can't get out of this jork cave I'm in right now.
I know you think you're being professional. Do not call your female streamer boss and be like, I'm beating it too
Listen,
hard.
I would love to open your video right now, but if I do, I got 3 more jorks in me.
Yeah, I'm bussing a nut.
I can't even imagine being hindered by needing to master. I don't all right, what's your record? What's your record in a day?
Well, I mean, york my own horn.
Yeah, I mean, what is your record for yorking the horn?
Well, when I was going through a bad breakup, I was hitting 3. 3 in a day.
That's the most ever. Maybe 5.
5?
When I was I was home alone as a 14-year-old or something all day. Yeah, I could get 5
Dude,
in.
if I'm hitting 3 yorks, it's
That's depression.
It's like
2 is hindering on depression for me.
3 yorks is like eating McDonald's takeout in your car. You ever do that where you're just sitting there and you're like, yeah, I'll get a Big Mac, but alone. You're like, I'll get a Big Mac, and you just sit there and you're eating it and you're like, this was great the first couple of bites, and now what am I just doing?
Just fucking Beretta just getting closer.
Yeah, exactly. I was when I was commuting my freshman year of college, I would it was an hour commute, and so I just stop at McDonald's 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Somehow still
This
being
era of your life is fascinating every time you tell me about it, because I'm like, I wouldn't have made it. You're like a film major going to school an hour away, living with your mom.
Yeah, I was a film major, commuting an hour away, going through the most devastating breakup of my life, eating McDonald's 3 days a week at 7 a.m.
Yep.
Just hating myself, also yorking it 3 days, 3 times a day.
3 times a day, there's get me to a therapist ASAP pronto. 2, I'm it can happen. If it happens 2 days in a row, depression.
There are days where you're just bored and you're just I guess I'll york.
I guess I'll york one.
I guess I got
Well, what's that? 2-3 times a day? Was that an hour? An hour of your time at most?
At absolute most. If it's hindered, there have been times where I'm editing a video or trying to do some work, and I'm just I'm fucking just not in it. My head's not in the game. I'm too
teed
blitzed.
up, yeah.
I'm too teed up. And then you just get your business done and you get back to work.
It takes 12 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't hinder your entire
Listen,
workload.
I might be weird here. I can get it done in a minute and a half if I need to. You find me the right video. I can get it done before I'm fully hard. All right.
We won't get too into this because my mom is watching. But
hi. Hey, Karen.
Have you ever just like, you're just like, for work purposes, I just got to get one out, and you're just like in and out, and you're like done. There.
Absolutely.
It's just an annoyance in your head.
Yeah. Clear the pipes. My news,
I hate
my
this
news is about
episode.
MHA.
It's the worst episode.
This is our best episode yet. We have 86 people watching us. We had 105 earlier. This is the most people that have ever watched us, and we're deep in a diatribe about how many times one works one a day.
Dude, the comments are awful.
Oh, I can imagine.
Panda Mom, we're learning so much this episode. Cthulhu Coffee, I'm glad I paid for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
The worst part is that everyone's being like, I've never experienced this. Everyone's like, this is the least relatable you guys.
I would love that. I would love the idea of that. Of everyone just being like, what the ew? Yeah. 3 times. I'm like, yeah, no, what? I didn't take 5.
I'm going to tell a story about
why not? We're already 26 minutes in. Why not?
Real quick, this isn't about me, but I won't use names, but I've had like friends tell me, my friend was telling me the story where him and his buddy were like hanging out. They had like their parents' like lake house for a week.
Huge.
And it was just them. They're like 16 for a week together. And like they were gonna invite a bunch of girls over, and they like all the girls canceled.
Nice, huge.
They got like 5 days in, and they're just like hanging out. They're bored as hell. And then like friend B turns to friend A, and it's just like, I gotta go jerk off. Like, is it cool if I just go jerk off?
Absolutely.
And the other one's like, yeah, let's go. Let's meet back here in 20. And they just go, and they get their business done, and they're back.
That's peak male friendship. That's absolutely peak male
It's like
friendship.
kind of beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, 1000% sure. When I was like 13 years old, we had like a Halloween party once. And we were all trading our candy, and then we just got all too hopped up on candy. And we just like, there was like 6 dudes there. We just made a conscientious decision. Like, everyone hit a corner. Everyone hit a corner. We all
This is so weird.
We all
What?
just worked one down, came back.
In a corner.
You know, listen, we didn't have, we were in the bottom, we were in the basement. You were like, hey, everyone spread out as much as possible.
Wait. No, wait.
You didn't want to be first done, but you also didn't want to be last. You want to shoot the middle here. All pun intended.
Wait.
You ever had a little corner jerk?
Into what? Into the corner?
You know, you have an empty Snickers wrapper. You know, something. I was 13.
What?
I might have been 12.
Craziest thing ever.
I was fucking yorking.
Wait, is it just like a fucking cacophony of like porn on everyone's phone?
No, this is straight imagination. This is pre porn on phones. This was just fucking. It was just
like
sugar.
6 dudes in a corner.
It was a big basement.
How many people?
I think it was 6 of us.
6 people.
Yeah.
4 corners in a room.
Listen, I went into the kitchen. All right, I went into the kitchen. There was a
incriminating evidence.
There was a living room, a
confession.
dining room, a front room. There was a bathroom downstairs. Yeah, it was a great time.
And it's
one of my fondest memories.
It's just so there's no porn. Because at first I was like, oh, this sounds like a nightmare. It's like 6 phones blasting porn.
Nope.
But instead, it's 6 12-year-old boys going. That's way worse.
Oh, it was way worse.
Yeah. And then what do you do when you're the first one done? You're like, you turn around, you're like, well
fuck, god damn it, no. Why did I clap?
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I'm so
This
happy.
is horrible. This is terrifying.
So happy I could enlighten
On
you.
Halloween, what is this, a Blair Witch party?
Wait, we're fucking sharing candy. We're sharing candy and memories.
What candy is this?
I don't
You gotta
fucking-
stop hitting those houses on Halloween.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there's a bunch of blue pills in my Snickers.
We're gonna do an hour and a half more material after this.
Anyways, you said earlier today, mid-anime season. Let's get the heat off Nick here for a little bit here.
Hold on, I gotta piss. So
Yeah. Don't leave me with them. Don't they know too much about me, Danny? Yeah. All right.
someone in chat just asked if we've seen the Venom 3 trailer, and Nick was like, "Oh, are the other movies good?" Anybody who's like, Deadpool is the epitome of like bad, awful Marvel humor hasn't seen Venom. Venom has the worst fucking humor I've ever seen in any movie.
I can't think of a joke in the two movies, and I've seen both of them.
The Venom 3 trailer has like one of the worst jokes I've ever seen, where like Tom Hardy's got like his face. They're doing like the half Tom Hardy, half
like
Venom
50?
face. Tom Hardy?
He's like 50
Like
now, right?
He's definitely old.
Yeah.
But he's doing like the half Tom Hardy face, half Venom face. And they're like, he's holding up like 4 thugs. And one of them's like, what are you? And then Tom Hardy's like, we are. And then Venom cuts in. He's like, we're Venom. And he's like, no, we are. And he's like, Venom. And he's like, no. And then they sync up and actually do it. And I'm like, what is this? This is like a Muppets bit.
So why are we still doing the We Are Venom thing? We know. We're aware.
I just don't get, it's like, I don't get it. I don't understand how
is
like
he still introducing himself to people?
I don't get how
I'm the giant black Spider-Man that's been flying around fighting people on fucking rockets for the last 2 movies.
I'm the fucking dude who's been eating people in New York.
What? like not being discreet about it at all either.
I just like, because the Deadpool 3 trailers have been like coming out. Everybody's like, you know, on this renaissance of like, oh, Deadpool's just like the epitome of like dumb Marvel fanboy humor. You gotta watch Venom. You gotta see Venom. It's way worse.
I don't have to. Right?
I love Deadpool 1. Deadpool 2 is not good in my opinion. Deadpool 3 is probably gonna be fine. Venom's awful.
Yeah.
Venom, I did see Venom 1.
You know what?
It's
Give me
very
Madam
fun.
Web 2 before you give me Venom 3.
I want
give me Morbius 2 and Madam Web 2 before you give me Venom 3.
Can we watch Morbius? I never saw that.
We can absolutely. It's not as bad. That's the issue.
No.
Is it's not as bad as Madam Web.
Yeah.
It's a passably fine movie.
That sucks. I'm not trying to watch Ghost Rider in like 2018.
It's
you know
just
what I mean?
it is
like,
a passably fun. Like it's not good, but it's just not that bad.
Yeah,
like people were being kind of dramatic about like, oh, Morbius is the worst movie we've ever seen. It's actually fine.
it looked so okay.
It's just that. It's just fine.
Yeah. Anyway, anime.
Cool. You want to talk? You want to talk some anime? Yeah. Hey guys, 34 minutes in here.
Should we right now or after we talk about the anime go back to the stock market?
I think it should be a conversation we have throughout it. Let's give it to a little context here.
Okay.
Chat a little context.
So a couple episodes ago, we came up with this ranking system that I really like called the anime stock market, where if an anime like during its seasonal run is doing really well,
we sell.
You sell it because it's up. It's real up. Or you can hold because you feel like it's
gonna get
getting
better.
higher and higher. If an anime is doing dog shit and you want to drop it, you buy.
Yeah.
Because this only works if people understand stocks.
Yeah.
But you buy it because that means that like the stock price of that anime is really low because it sucks, and so you buy it.
I also think maybe we should say hold on bad ones too, because it might get worse. Because it's like we could buy it at even lower.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So what one should we talk about first?
Let's talk about MHA.
Okay.
It's the epitome of a sell.
Yeah.
It's like the hardest epitome of a sell. The first 3 episodes are nothing, but they're supposed to be nothing. It's a setup for like Deku being like, oh, the vigilante arc is over. You know, it's time to like get settled back in here, have my conversation with Araka. The war has now started.
Yeah.
Like next. So we're probably in
Well, so we're holding because it's going to get better, you're saying. It's not a sell.
No. Oh, no, you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah, hold on MHA.
Hold.
You're absolutely right. Hold
Everybody,
on MHA.
hold on. We should like for this segment
You got
kill
it.
ourselves. We should wear like a suit and tie. Like we should act like this is a fucking like
Buy, sell.
Yeah.
Sell, buy.
But no, yeah, I agree. The first few episodes weren't terrible. I like the Stars and Stripes fight, even though it's nonsense.
Yeah.
I like the stuff with the naval laser.
The Stars and Stripes fight is literally just like hey, look, things are still happening while we set shit up fight.
Yeah.
It's literally just, hey, throw in the strongest hero from America, set up how strong Shigaraki here is. Like, he's basically like to show Shigaraki as this like true endgame villain, which he doesn't feel like until he defeats Stars and Stripes. But like, it's a nonsense fight that accomplishes nothing.
There's a part in the latest episode. What episodes are we on? Just
406. We're the most recent one. It's like 105.
Gotcha. It's whatever. Like
Let me check here.
All for One just showed up, and like they're all about to tussle. Like they're all about to fight All for One. They came in through a bunch of Doctor Strange portals.
Yep, a bunch of big old goopy ones. Oh, episode 153, I believe.
Yeah.
My God, is there that many episodes? Oh no, 143.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so we just watched. So we technically didn't react to 142 because we were down in Comicpalooza. But nothing really happens. It's just a training episode where it's just like a montage of them being like, I can shoot tape out of my elbows better now. It's like, cool, Sarah.
It's a bunch of nonsense.
Shut the fuck up.
There's one part where, what's the Naval Lasers guy name?
Ioma.
There's a part where Ioma, I vaguely remember it. I should have taken a more detailed note.
Yeah.
But where Ioma's like telling Deku about like All for One and his master plan and how he's like trying to save his family and stuff. And he's just going on this spiral and he's like, Deku's like, it's all right, Ioma. We're friends. We'll help you through everything. And Ioma's like, the yen is crashing, Deku.
Yeah.
Don't you get it?
Do you understand the social and economic repercussions of villains taking over? Yeah, they're like, oh, the world isn't coming to help Japan or something.
He's like going off on how the fucking yen is like plummeting, and it's so funny.
And it's like, you know what'll happen if the world has a drought? Somebody who is able to make potable water is gonna take charge. Yeah. And like All for One's like, yeah, not really what I was talking about, but good energy, I guess.
So that was funny.
So yeah, MHA is like, it's just like, it's definitely it's a hold. It's a hold because in a couple of chapters here, there's a bunch of really big fights coming up. Who do you think is going to fight who? Like what? Like looking at. So I'm caught up with the manga. My news for this week is about the manga. But who do you think is going to fight, and what fights are you excited to see in this upcoming war?
Interesting. Well, so yeah, they just did like an Avengers Endgame thing where like all the villains came in and then all the heroes came in.
Yeah, through a Kurogiri portal. Yeah,
and they're about to tussle. I don't know.
There's already been hints at a lot of them. I'll tell you this. Basically, if anybody's been talking about somebody else, they're going to end up in a fight.
I think Ochaka and Toga are probably going to fight again.
Nice.
It's weird that they've become the rivals.
It is.
It's real out of nowhere.
It's a weird shift off Deku. Like, it's like she's obsessed with Deku in the beginning, and then she's like, oh, I also like Araka. Yeah. And then it's like, all right, now, and then like Deku's just completely forgotten. And I think it's because Deku treats her the way that she feels other people treat her. So like she like kind of falls out of love with him. And so Araka kind of steps up into like oh, I care about Toga, I can fix her kind of like role.
Yeah. So there's that. They'll definitely fight. I don't know who's going to fight Spinner, but I really don't care. I'm so...
Neither does Horikoshi. Yeah.
Anytime Spinner is like people are like yapping at Spinner, I'm like, get this fucking Doro ass out of here.
Yeah, it's literally just like he's like dressed up as another cooler villain. Yeah. Like it's like the entirety of his character arc is
Stain,
like is built around the fact that he's not Stain.
Mm-hmm. I don't care about him. Like what other villains even are there?
Dabi.
Shigaraki. Oh, Dabi. I mean Shoto. Shoto fights Dabi, obviously. Mm-hmm. It's weird that Shoto's like, I'm gonna be his friend after.
I'm gonna get my big brother back.
Wasn't that weird?
Yeah.
He's killed so many people.
He's like, I wonder what kind of food he eats. And he's like, Bakugo's like, udon. He's like, nice, I'll make him udon. 35 people are dead.
Yeah, I thought that was cute of Bakugo. I like anytime Bakugo's like just being a regular dude. Mm-hmm. I hate when he's like yelling at folks. But like, I thought that was so weird because, he's like, I'll get him udon and then we'll build our relationship. Because when we got in a hot water over Endeavor, there was a sub debate where people are like, is Endeavor worse than Dabi?
Yeah.
And people are like, no, Dabi's a mass murderer. But people are like, well, Endeavor caused him to be one.
Yeah.
It's weird that Shoto's like, he's fine.
Everyone's cool.
Yeah, everyone's killing people.
He's like pissed at Endeavor, right? Like his whole thing is like he's pissed at Endeavor. And I think that should actually like bring a more like interesting perspective into that conversation of like who's worse, Dabi or Endeavor. Because like Shoto wants to mend bonds with Dabi, and like he's like very reticent to like even allow any semblance of Endeavor back into his life. Yeah. So I believe that Todoroki believes that, or I guess Shoto believes that Endeavor is worse than Dabi. Like Dabi is because of this. Like is like this because of Endeavor.
And it makes sense for him to feel that way because they both went through Endeavor. You know, like if you look at it from a familial aspect, it's like Shoto must in some way see how Dabi became that because like they both underwent like Endeavor's abuse.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be fun. It's like a bunch of really big, really important episodes coming up. Can we switch the conversation to something that is slowly but surely? Because here's the thing. MHA, they gave us, I believe it was, how many episodes did it take? 5 episodes from the beginning of this season to get to the war, right? Which is like more than I anticipated it would be. I feel like they definitely dragged a little bit in like the UA-centric arc. There was like a lot of conversations, a lot of training stuff. I was like, we can get through this. Demon Slayer, just in a race to get nowhere. just in a dead sprint to get absolutely absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
They are crushing it at not moving the story forward at all.
Yeah. Agreed. I'm enjoying it enough, but as like, it's interesting because I'm like, this episode, the most recent one specifically, what even happened? They had like an airplane folding competition.
They did. They fully did have an airplane
This is
folding
the worst
competition.
episode, for sure. This is the one that almost like lost me. But like up until then, I was fine with them like bouncing around, like building character. I wish what they were doing, if you're gonna have this like filler season, which it like literally is, show us like each episode, have Tanjiro like
Get stronger in a facet that we can see and appreciate.
well, like have Tanjiro, because he right now he's like doing a little like bar crawl.
Yeah.
Along every like Hashira's training camp.
So he's been to Tengen,
Tokido, and Giyu. Giyu, technically.
Yeah, okay.
So he's doing a bar crawl to every Hashira's like training camp.
Yeah.
Show us, like, give us like 2 minutes of great animation of each Hashira, like showing why they're necessary to the group. Like show why like Tengen can't do what Tokido does.
Yeah.
Show us why like Mitsuri is better than Tokido at this, but not better at this. Like, use each episode to really flesh out each Hashira.
I think they were on their way to do that in this last episode because Tokido's battling against Tsunemi and Igoro, and like Tokido's just like appearing behind them because he does misbreathing, right? So his entire breathing style is meant around like being hard to read. It's why he wears super baggy clothing.
Yeah.
So it's like his movements are hard to read. So like, if you want to say, oh, he doesn't actually turn into mist, it's his body actually being like difficult to perceive in the way that he moves it.
But who would want to say that? Because he's just turning into mist. Yeah.
Apparently the mangaka would want to say that, you know? And so, but like my biggest note from this episode was simply give me more of that fight. Like it's like him and Tsunemi and Igoro battling against each other. And then it's like dust cloud and a bunch of like laser beams cutting through it. And I'm like, just give me more of it.
Well,
make it 3 minutes.
What's infuriating is in the last episode, Siguro and who?
Igoro and Tsunemi.
Igoro and Tsunemi, I wasn't even close.
Yeah, you said Siguro and Anemi, so not bad.
They were like, they look at each other and they're like, we should fight and like train. And I was like, sick, yeah, give me this. I was hyped about that. And then we never see that fight.
No.
They don't do it. They do it off screen. And then they're like, all right, let's take on Tokido. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be something. And yeah, it's just like dust clouds and sparks. And then it's over in an instant. And it's like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
What's the point of this season?
To get a bunch of ripped little 5'7" dudes with swords. What I've realized now is everybody just kind of looks like Tanjiro, but like with less character design. Like all of the other Demon Slayers, I'm like, oh, it's just Tanjiro. It's like milk toast Tanjiro.
Oh yeah, if you have black hair, like you have no chance of being a Hashira. You simply don't.
Like if you don't have like something going on, you actually might be right.
Yeah.
Well, Igoro's got black hair. Tsunemi has white hair. Rengoku has.
Yeah. It's just Igoro.
Igoro, no, Moshiro. Oh, he's got the blue at the bottom of his hair.
Yeah, yeah.
Tsunemi? Not at Tsunemi. Mitsuri. No, not Mitsuri.
Mitsuri has fucking
Shinobu is who I'm looking for here. Shinobu got black hair. You're looking. I don't have her.
Purple highlights, right? She got something?
Oh, I do have her actually. She does have purple highlights.
Yeah.
Damn.
Don't have black hair.
It's just only Igoro.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of like, they're too ripped, man. It makes me uncomfortable. Tanjiro, I'm starting to get used to, but when I see like a bunch of just like 5'7" Tyler ones running around with swords, it's like they're too wide.
They look like they're 13.
They all look like they look like Russian child bodybuilders. Like they look like that kid who went viral like on the internet like 10 years ago for being like the youngest bodybuilder ever. Do you remember that? It was like this tiny 10-year-old who was ripped to shit.
Isn't that baby Gronk?
No, I mean it's like our generation's baby Gronk, I guess.
It's funny because even like teen Gohan, they knew to like chill out with.
Yeah.
Like make them lean muscle. Everyone looks like a 4 foot tall Tengen.
Exactly. They look uncomfortable. Like they look like they're gonna burst. Every single one of them.
But yeah, I mean, like I like the characters, I like the world, but this episode was egregious with the
You didn't like the
airplane
paper
thing.
planes?
What are we doing?
You don't like the paper planes?
No.
I thought it was kind of cute.
Well, because we already did the food one. Why are we doing a weird
like Tengen being like or like them being like Tengen
Giyu.
ran to the mountain to save them, and then Giyu being like I gotta eat.
Giyu did a food eat off.
But they're doing a thing with
Tanjiro.
every single Hashira where it's like, oh, they do care.
I know, but I don't need. It's like a fucking field day. The season.
Yeah. And
Let's
what's crazy
move
is
this
in the
along.
manga, it's only 9 episodes. It's 9 chapters long. And I it's been years since I've read the Demon Slayer manga, and I haven't reread it since. I do not remember all this happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's 9 chapters.
It's filler. It's literally filler.
Dude, it has to be additional content because there's no way it's now been 4 episodes, including a 50-minute first episode, right? There's no way they're still on the Hashira training arc from the manga, if I remember correctly.
No, I saw like a post that was like, the rest of the season is filler. It's non-manga content.
No way.
Yeah.
So, like, we are going to every single Hashira?
I think so.
Holy shit, why the fuck would they do that?
It's scary because season 3 really lost a lot of people. And I love being in like Demon Slayer hype, you know? Like I loved when Mugen Train was out and everyone was like, this is peak anime.
Yeah.
It feels good. It's dope. I liked it with JJK too. I like when an anime's on top. I don't know if Demon Slayer is surviving. Like,
dude, this was my entire fear. I was like, I think they're like, when I saw it was like the first episode's 50 minutes, I was like, cool. They're trying to speed blitz their way through the Hashira training arc here so that we can get to the Infinity Castle as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But they started, so you know what I'm now realizing, they started 4 or 5 weeks late.
Yeah.
So we're now, how many episodes are we into Windbreaker? Like 9 episodes?
Yeah.
Or like 9 or 10 episodes in. And we're 4 episodes into Demon Slayer. So started 5 weeks late. Which makes me feel like they're going to run this season down to the 12 episode mark, which means we're probably going to end up with 8 episodes of the season, which means we have 4 more episodes of Hashira training.
Yeah. I think they'll end it with some crazy final fight.
Probably.
In the same way that the first episode opened.
What's going to be introduction of the Infinity Castle, probably.
Yeah. They'll end it with something crazy to be like, oh, the next one's crazy. But My Hero hardly survived one bad season.
Yeah.
Which was season 5. Season 6 bangs, no one talks about it. No one's talking about My Hero.
Yeah.
Which is nuts because it's really good right now.
And it's about to get much better.
And it's because JJK siphoned all the hype.
And Chainsaw Man.
And Chainsaw Man, for sure. Yeah, Chainsaw Man took it from its last season.
Yep.
And because of that, My Hero's the hype isn't returning to the US at least.
Yeah.
And it sucks to think that Demon Slayer will be on its final season next year. And
probably longer than next year.
I don't know. It comes out once a year.
Does it?
Yeah.
Really?
We talked about season 3. We've been doing this for a little over a year.
Oh my God, we did talk about season 3. You're right. Wow, they rip.
They rip. But to be fair, nothing's happening this season. So we're ripping nothing.
They introduced the new upper 6. The Biwa woman with all the eyeballs. They introduced her. I don't remember that bit at all. So they're going kind of crazy with it. I really thought they were going to try and blitz through the Hashira training arc so that they could get to the Infinity Castle arc faster.
No.
I genuinely thought, I was like, oh yeah, of course, we're going to get this done as fast as possible. And then the last 4 episodes of the season are going to be the introduction of the Infinity Castle arc. And then we're going to go from there.
Yeah.
And they're doing filler?
Yeah.
With a completed manga?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
I know.
That makes no sense.
They're I guess.
Nobody reading the manga complained about the Hashira arc being too short.
Yeah.
No one.
I think it's just because the manga is so short. They don't want just 3 seasons, 4 technically.
It's so stupid. It's so, because Kaiju number 8 is going to fall into the same camp. Or Kaiju number 8 is currently in its what could very easily be its last fight, and it's 107 chapters long. And Demon Slayer is longer than that. Demon Slayer is 205 chapters.
Yeah.
It's long.
We're cooking through it.
Dude,
it's technically 3 or 4 seasons. If they didn't do the Hashira training arc the way they're doing now, it would have been 4 seasons.
Which is fine.
And they want 10. Every anime wants a bunch.
Of course they want 10, but I don't know. It's the same thing with Boruto, right? They were oh, we got to keep releasing weekly. Even though the manga's monthly, we got to release this anime weekly. And it's hey, sure, there's 65 canon episodes and 300 episodes of the anime, but hey, we're still selling out. We're selling out our spot every week in Japanese television. We're the 10th biggest trending anime, even with filler arcs. Everyone loves it. And it's no. You're sullying the rewatchability of your show by being I need real-time IRL money.
Yeah. They're not it's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's just that it's Demon Slayer was on top.
Yeah.
And it sucks that I want the final season to get the AOT final season treatment where you're hearing of it everywhere.
Oh, God. You want that? Why would you want that?
Because I like Demon Slayer.
Oh,
Imagine having that for a thing
hype.
you like.
You mean hype, not it being broken into 17
Why
parts.
would I ever want that?
You're very vocal about how much you hated the Attack on Titan's finale.
I want when Attack on Titan's finale was coming out.
All anyone talked about.
All anybody talked about. People who didn't watch anime were is it too late to catch up? Should I do this? People I knew were we know. People I knew were throwing Waffalo, the Marvel podcast, was throwing Attack on Titan parties because even though it was out of their realm, they're like, this is the one we got to get in.
And then
on.
we were like, well, pretty cool. We got this table here. We got that was a fun episode. We did nothing for it.
We did nothing.
We did genuinely nothing. We talked about it.
We talked about it. We hardly like it.
We're fine with its existence.
Yeah.
It would. I mean, the finale was good. I would also love that for Demon Slayer. And I think once we get to the Infinity Castle arc, it'll get that treatment. But not if we're doing filler arcs before we get there. That's insane.
I know. I think once, if we get like 3 episodes in the last season and it rips, like it's sick, it'll come back.
Yeah. But the problem is like now, all right, so now like, oh, hey, watch Demon Slayer. You know, 3rd season's not great. The 4th season's filler.
Yeah.
But once you get to Infinity, like that, I hate that I have to do that now, right?
Well, it sucks because it's already hard to be like, watch Demon Slayer. I mean, season 1's fine, but the movie, bang. Season 2, bang. Season 3's.
It's fine.
Season 4, you can honestly, genuinely skip.
Yep.
Season 5,
bangs, maybe, question mark.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
exactly.
it definitely will. It's going to be fucking gorgeous.
I do think, what's the studio? Ufotable.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're like kind of panicking. I wonder if they're having like a midlife crisis because they're like, Fate does not push these numbers. What do we do after
Demon Slayer's gone?
It's going to be a Rengoku prequel. It's going to be like
I mean,
this. It's going to be that. Like,
like the Rengoku prequel story does actually exist. It's not long enough to turn into an anime.
I'm just saying, I wonder if like Ufotable's like banging on the mangaka's door and just like, what's next?
I don't know if she's written anything else.
Well, she just did the Rengoku thing, like last year. Rengoku
The prequel? It's older than
Gaiden.
that.
No, like just came out.
Rengoku Gaiden, the story of him defeating the flute monster. I think it's older than a year.
Or she did a Rengoku thing like a year ago.
Kyoharu Gotoge. She's 35. What's next?
Oh,
What's
nice.
she doing
So she's
now?
got like 10 years left in her before.
Until she's like broken down. The Demon Slayer novel, which went live in Japan this week. This was written February 4th, 2021. Features tons of musings from Gotote. There's an artist admitted they've been thinking of writing a sci-fi romantic comedy as their next project.
No.
So not Demon Slayer.
Please.
So not Demon Slayer.
Damn.
Why does every single mangaka want to write sci-fi? Every single one. Kishimoto finishes Naruto, and then he goes on to write Samurai Number 8 or something, and he gets 10 chapters, and everyone's like, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you know what? Fine. Boruto's a sci-fi story now, and it's like, cool, we have miniguns and trains.
There's not a lot of sci-fi in anime.
No.
And people will be like, there's this, there's that, there's this.
Well, there is.
Here's what there is. There's Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
There's Trigun.
Yep.
And like, in terms of like...
Every mech ever.
Yeah, that's fair.
Gundam.
Yeah.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, but those are like...
I feel like mech is its own genre.
Mech,
I feel
yeah.
like you can't even like classify mech as sci-fi.
Yeah. I mean, it's sci-fi. It's literally sci-fi. But it's like... I feel like anime... I don't know if this is like because they like being compartmentalized or if there's like such a need to be like...
Akira.
Akira for sure. But from fucking the 80s. Like,
Yeah, like the first thing
yeah,
ever made.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like, I wonder if like there's this... I'm like choking.
Yeah,
there's this need in... Hold on, I'll be right back.
Do you want some water?
I need to just blow my nose.
Okay. He's choking on his own boogies, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, it feels like there's a lot of compartmentalizing where it's like, you're making a fantasy one. It has to follow like all these tropes. Like anime love tropes. And that's why I'm not super into like fantasy anime because they're all like, it's like all of them are like, oh, it's D&D and then we build on that.
Yeah.
Like, which is weird. Like they all feel like they're building off the same generic fantasy world.
Yeah, welcome to Isekai.
And I don't like
Just
that.
as a genre.
I just like never, even Final Fantasy, which I love, Berserk's like the only one kind of, but that's because it goes more like European with it. But like there's never been like an anime, I don't think, that feels like you go into the fantasy world and I'm like, this is like its own unique world.
Yeah.
Maybe Ranking of Kings.
Ranking of Kings did a really good job of differentiating itself.
But it's like you play like Skyrim and you play Dark Souls. And they don't feel
The
like
same at all.
similar worlds,
No.
Skyrim
feels like more like a Viking story, and Dark Souls feels like you're a knight, right?
Yeah, and they're like, they have their own like art style, their own uniqueness. But like you look at like, what's it called? Shangri-La Frontier, and you look at like Dungeon Meshi, and obviously they're like you look at the worlds and they seem similar. That's what I'm doing. It's called a transition, baby.
I forgot.
It's called a segue, baby.
Oh my God, because outside of watching Madame Web, we also watched the first 2 episodes of Dungeon Meshi, and Danny hated it. I want to tell about how much he hated it?
No, because that's not the truth.
It's
Nicholas.
not the truth. He loved it.
I hate how much I love it,
Yeah.
if I hate anything, because fuck me, is it so good.
It's so good.
I watched the first 12 episodes, and then slept the rest of the week.
Okay, cool.
I have some notes.
Give me your notes. Oh, I'm so excited. Also, you were like, oh, it's a mid-season. Dungeon Meshi's still running, technically. So it's like Dungeon Meshi, whatever. It's like, oh, what's the best anime of the season? Is it Kaiju number 8? Is it Demon Slayer? Is it Hunter x Hunter?
It's Dungeon Meshi.
It's Dungeon Meshi.
I don't know a single person who doesn't like Dungeon Meshi.
If you've seen Dungeon Meshi, you like it.
Yeah. It's just good.
It's good.
just like the voice acting's great.
The English cast is some of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're really good.
Senchi's just so convincingly a dwarf.
Yeah.
Laios is great. Marcel, her voice was grating to me initially, but now I love it.
I have one. So my notes are kind of sporadic, but like there's an episode with the golem, right?
Yeah, where Senchi puts all his plants and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
so Senshi has these golems, these stone golems that he like uses essentially as like gardens.
Yes.
To grow food off
Because they
of.
protect his food and also like keep his soil rich.
Yeah, and Marcel is like grilling him about it. She's like, "This is illegal use of golems," and Senshi like, she's like, "This is an illegal golem dungeon, dungeon, Seshi." And Senshi says something along the lines of like, "Crime? What crime? Shut up!" Like,
He's so Frank coded sometimes, or like it's just like you back him into a corner or something. He's like super weird about like fire, like he always wants to make his own fire and stuff. I love him.
there's one bit where they're captured by orcs,
Yes.
and he's like, "They have yeast. I can make bread, bread," and he starts like chanting bread and starting to lose his mind. And I'm like, What darkness lies beneath you?
You know what's so funny that you asked that? It's like currently where I'm at in the anime right now, like they're like kind of asking questions about Senshi because it kind of just pulls up on him. They're like, we actually don't know anything about this short, gorgeous man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like currently like I'm getting it revealed to me like, what is the darkness behind Senshi?
Yeah.
Because he tells them, he's like, oh, I've been hunting monsters in this dungeon for a decade. And apparently the dungeon's only been open for 6 years. So it's like, what were you doing down here, dwarven man? Yeah.
Everybody is so sociopathic. Senshi's sociopathic, because that insane bread chant.
Yep.
That was intense. What's the Lyle?
Laios.
It's so strange.
He's just autistic. He's just an autistic man living out his hyperfixation.
He is.
To a T.
He is. There was one very adorable moment where like Senshi's talking about like they run into these like jewel bugs. These treasure parasites. Which is super cool. Like something good that the show does is that like, yes, it's in this like very D&D-esque like world where it's very generic, but they're very clever about like living armor. They do something clever with like, they have these like treasure parasites that are bugs that look like coins and like centipedes look like pearl necklaces. And Senshi's like talking about all this and like talking about how like horrifying it is, where he's like, yeah, like the gold coin bugs inject a lethal venom into anyone who grabs them, this and that. And then Laios like cuts in, he's like, I think it's neat that the male bugs have like different faces than the female bugs. And it's like,
Laios never changed. Never goddamn changed.
He's adorable. But then he was sociopathic when he was like fighting the armor, like the living armor, and he's like, "Can we eat them?" And they're like, "You want to eat metal? What are you talking about?"
And then it's just like so convenient that like a little scallop squirms out, and he's like, "There."
Well, there's like their mollusks are like controlling the living armor, and then he's like, "If it's living, it means I can kill it. If it's living, it means I can eat it."
Yep.
And it's like, my dude, you need to relax.
So, do you have a favorite character?
I do like Laios. They're all great. They're all equally great.
There's not a character in the story. Even when they introduce characters from outside of the party, there's not a character in this story I dislike.
Yeah, Chilchuck's good. I hate his ears, but he's really fun. He's a great guy. Senshi, I love. Marcel, I really like. They're all great. We talked about at the con.
Yes.
crazy noises.
It's just a break.
At the con, you asked me what mythical creature I would eat.
Yes.
Have you thought about your answer anymore?
What mythical creature I would eat? Specifically from the show or just in general?
Just in general.
I said unicorn.
Unicorn?
I said unicorn.
Bad answer.
I don't think it is.
Just eat a horse. You can already do that.
I don't want to eat a horse.
Why? Oh,
Because
unicorn.
they're not mystical. I'll eat a unicorn.
I don't think you taste the whimsy.
I feel like it's like, like a T-bone steak, right? Like a T-bone, like you hold it by the horn and then you have your handle and
Yeah,
your
then
meat.
you have
It's
a horse skull attached to it, my guy.
There's probably some good meat on there.
You don't eat the head of any animal.
If I could retract for 1 second the walking mushroom from episode 1, I love mushroom.
It's just a mushroom.
Just a slab of mushroom though, like a big old Texas toast piece of mushroom would be awesome.
I kind of feel that. I don't want to do something that I can just like eat on my regular though already. I can eat a horse. I can eat a mushroom. I want to eat a like silly, goofy little goblin guy.
I like fantasy animals don't come to my brain.
I know. Well, what's a fantasy animal?
Like I feel
Like I try dragon because what does a dragon taste?
Well, that was my answer originally.
Yeah, it's boring though.
It's not boring at all. They kill. So you've made it to episode 12,
What's
right?
a Pokemon you'd eat?
Pokemon I would eat? I mean, literally, Taurus is a cow.
Stop picking ones you can already eat.
So, but Taurus is a cow.
Eat a Snorlax. Coward.
Eat a Snorlax. It's gonna be all fat. It's gonna be like eating whale.
You like fat. Fat's where the flavor comes from.
Hi, sweetie. Thank you, my love.
Oh my goodness.
For you.
For me? How do you know it's for me?
What do you mean? Because I texted her to bring it to you.
Oh, thanks. What is it?
It's water.
Oh, thanks.
You're out of water.
How'd you know?
Because I saw you taking dry sips like 3 times in a row, and you're sick. You need to be hydrated. All right. Take a little sip.
That was such a like Muppets ass. Like for audio only listeners, the door behind Nick just opened and a disembodied hand held out a mug and then Nick handed it to me.
Yeah.
From our PA, Dorothy.
Yeah, from our yeah. She's working her way up the ladder. She's fantastic. We need good help. A Pokemon I would eat? Pikachu. Low key Pikachu.
Big rat?
But he's like, okay, everyone's electric rat Pikachu, but like
Literally a rat.
Stop shaming. You're like, oh Nick, give me an answer. Everything I say, you're like dumb.
Eat a good animal.
Dumb.
Yeah, dumb.
All right, Whale Lord.
You want to eat a wet Nick? Oh my god, I'm like actually gonna beat you within an inch of
Give
your
me
life.
a fucking answer then, Dan.
Pick one that isn't just a fucking
They're
animal.
all based off
have.
animals, Danny. That's the point. What do you want me to say? Fucking Chandelure?
Dude, Charizard.
Charizard's a dragon. We've already said dragon.
But he's like a furry dragon. He doesn't have scales.
He doesn't have fur.
He's like fuzzy.
He's like leather.
soft.
He's like a leather dragon.
Pick like a fucking like Milotic. Looks yummy.
Milotic. Is that the
It's like a mermaid thing.
It's an eel.
Pick like what's Gengar taste like? That sounds good.
Isn't he a ghost?
Like a
Isn't he a fucking ghost?
Do Charmander. Do Squirtle.
A Charmander's still just a dragon. Squirtle's a turtle. Fuck, Squirtle's a turtle.
What about Bulbasaur?
Bulbasaur I'd eat.
There we go.
It's meat and veggies.
My God, fucking.
It's like
Whale Lord.
It's a great answer. You backed me into a corner. I said Pikachu out the gate.
Hold on.
What?
This segment's not ending.
What about what's the other milk tank? It's another good one.
What is Milk Tank?
A cow. I'm trying to answer ethically.
I'm
all right?
boiling.
I'm trying to answer ethically.
I'm
all right?
boiling. Eat a Mr. Mime. It's the only opportunity you get to
That's
ethically
human.
eat a person.
That's a fucking human.
Yeah.
It can communicate. It can communicate.
Yeah, like this.
You know what? Hey, you know what? I think we can both agree on this. Arceus.
Arceus?
Gotta eat
What is
Arceus.
Arceus.
That's
Arceus is like a Roman column.
It's the god of Pokemon.
I like that you went legendaries. I was gonna say Lugia because what is it? That's what I want.
It's a fucking F-18.
What is F-18?
It's a fighter. It's a fighter plane.
Yeah, but it's fucking flesh, my guy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are they really?
Lugia?
Isn't it a flying steel type?
It's like water. Flying water?
Is it? Pretty sure.
Do steel types have meat? You know?
Steelix definitely doesn't.
Is like a Geodude's like a rock?
Thing. You can't be like Steelix, Onyx. You can't say anyone's. You can't say Machamp. You can't say anything that has
You do Machamp? I do Machamp.
You can't.
All muscle?
It's
all
bipedal.
lean muscle?
You can't eat bipedals.
Why?
It's just wrong.
Why? You eat
What do I
pigs.
eat? What?
Pigs are some of the smartest animals on earth.
They walk on 4 feet.
So
That's where I draw the line. Is 2 feet.
what is the difference?
I don't eat things that walk on 2 feet.
Sometimes.
That's like eating our ancestors.
Would you eat bear?
I guess. Yeah.
Walk on 2 feet.
I walk on 4 feet.
Sometimes I do too.
Anything can walk on 2 feet.
Would you eat a dog?
Would I eat a dog?
Yeah,
No.
4 feet. Why?
Why wouldn't I eat a dog?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. The whole complicated reason if I own 2 of them.
So you could own a pig. You could own a cow.
If I owned a pig, I probably wouldn't eat pigs.
I have no issue with eating literally anything.
That's why
I'd eat a person.
We established this.
Yeah.
To not very much uproarious applause at our live podcast, mind you.
I'd eat Mew. Do a Mew.
I feel like Mew would be slimy.
Cute little guy. Maybe that's fair.
I feel like it's just also Mew's too small, right?
Yeah, he's small. I'm trying to find like a meaty fucking thing. I think Ivysaur is a good one. I don't want to eat Venusaur. A lot of meat, but just ugly. I think Snorlax is a good one.
Snorlax is too much fat. Yeah. It's like cutting into a marshmallow made of like flesh. What a nightmare that'd be. I feel like the real answer is like, I don't know, like Octillery. Just like any fish Pokemon.
Yeah, fish Pokemon. Like Seadra. Seadra's a good one.
No, fucking not Seadra. You know what I would eat the shit out of? Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't answer this first. The mouth glass cannon water type, Gen 1. The Magikarp turns into it.
Gyarados?
Gyarados.
Good call.
Oh my
Solid
god.
call.
Gyarados
Yeah.
is absolutely that's choice A1.
I like that because on one hand it's fish, but like what is it? It checks off my what is it box.
That's
which is
the
something I
answer
want.
right there.
Yeah, Gyarados is good.
What about you? Huh? Mr. Pro's a question he doesn't answer?
Dude, I could do 2 hours of this segment. I'm
would-
having a blast.
I think the answer is you would eat any Pokemon.
No, because I'm picky. I'm a picky eater. I'm not eating an Oddish.
That's fair.
I'm not eating Gloom.
Anything that has vegetation, execute.
Execute, I'd eat.
What's
They got
what-
faces. That's tough though. That'd be tough.
Just
imagine making eggs, but they all have faces.
Yeah, it'd be great, dude. Oh my god. What's the one that turns into a tree with faces? It's just a tree, actually. No.
It's a tree.
Yeah, it's just a fucking tree.
But that's the thing. If you cut into it, is it bark or is it like meat?
I gotta say it's bark. I gotta say it's tree. It's wood.
Yeah. It's tough with the eggs. I guess you drown them.
Doug Trio. I'd eat Doug Trio.
I'd eat Doug Trio.
I'd eat Doug Trio.
I'd eat a Diglett.
I mean, that's just one Doug Trio.
Oh, Doug Trio. I thought you meant the 3-headed bird one.
Oh,
the
that's-
ostrich.
I'd
eat Doug Trio. No, good call.
I'd eat Doug Trio.
What's under Doug Trio though? You know, what if you keep pulling?
There's a joke about that. They
it's
make
a big dude.
Yeah, it's absolutely yoked. Yeah.
Dude, I'd eat Machamp, no doubt.
That's
I'd
wild.
be
You
hard.
can't do that.
I'd hunt
they
Machamps
literally
into
they
extinction.
wear belts. Like they wear belts.
Have cocks. That's no issue of mine.
I don't.
So the cows.
I don't actually do. No, they only wear a belt. That's the thing. They wear their champion belt. They're a champ.
They have a belt and a thong.
Do they have a thong?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They have penises.
Yeah, it's too human.
Nah,
It's too human. Also,
I
have
don't
fun
eat the
fucking-
cock.
I'm sure it's one of the better pieces. Actually,
I love this. I want to do this for the next hour.
we'll just do a whole Patreon episode on what Pokemon we would eat. We'll go through all 800 and just say like what's our level of like would we eat them?
Would you eat a Gardevoir?
Gardevoir?
Yeah. I think
Bipedal.
I may draw the line at Gardevoir.
You know, it's funny.
That one's like
you know, it's funny.
just a
I wouldn't
woman.
eat a Gardevoir. This might be sexist. I wouldn't eat a Gardevoir. I'd eat a Gallade.
With its fucking poop diaper?
I don't know something about it. I would eat a Gallade. I wouldn't eat a Gardevoir.
I'm also kind of sexist. I wouldn't eat a Gardevoir because it's like just a pretty woman.
Yep.
You know what? I'd eat a Lopunny. No problem.
I
Lot of meat.
I would know. I wouldn't.
No?
I'd want to fuck it too bad.
Hold on.
I don't want to eat anything I want to fuck. You wouldn't fuck a Lopunny? Given the chance? Given, if we had to say a S tier Pokemon to have intercourse with?
We're all saying a lot of things right now.
I'm saying a lot of things. I mean, I'd have conflicted feelings while eating it.
But if we had to eat, if it's like, I won't do it now.
Okay.
I'm going to we're going to do a game.
We're going to do like let's do eat or fuck.
Yeah.
Eat, fuck or chuck.
the only-
Eat, fuck or chuck. Oh,
Okay.
I love it so much.
I was going to I was trying to think of a smash or pass, but it's like eat. I guess it has to be fuck. They have to both be
Eat,
tough.
fuck or chuck.
That's a good one.
That's our best one yet.
Yeah.
You're always talking about how we need to make up our own games.
I know. I said that for Anime IRL, though.
That's fair.
It has to originate here. Listen, you can take it for Anime IRL because I think it's a good one. The first one has to be on here.
Okay. Well, I would love to do eat, fuck or chuck. It's hard to do for Anime IRL.
I think you can only get like 3 Chucks, though. Because then you just be like, no. You know, Chuck is just buy,
Well,
right?
what we do is we curate 3 Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay.
And then
Well,
you
because
eat, fuck, or
originally I
chuck.
was going to be like, here's like, I got a list of 20 Pokemon. Or I got a list of like 5 Pokemon. You have to eat one.
We'll do it in rounds.
Yeah, we'll do it in rounds.
We'll do like randomizer. We'll do like a randomizer for 3 Pokemon, and then like, those are your 3.
I like it.
I like it a lot too.
That's great.
Reggie Rock. Which one of the Reggies would you eat?
Let's go. I love this, Nick.
Which one of the Reggies would you eat? Reggie Ice? No.
Well, it's ice. It's probably the most edible.
Yeah, Reggie Rock, you're not getting through.
Reggie Steel, no chance.
Reggie Steel, not getting it.
They're not meat. What's Reggie Gigass made of? Reggie Alecki. Do you know they made 2 more? There's a dragon one and an electric one.
There is?
Yeah.
You gotta eat the dragon one then.
They're dumb looking. Yeah,
You gotta go for the dragon one. Fucking what a great game.
Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah.
Please let me do this for another hour.
We simply cannot. We haven't talked about Kaiju number 8 yet.
Last one.
Okay.
Which of the
legend?
Fuck Chuck or Eat the 3 legendary dogs?
We need something better for Eat.
I know. Fuck Chuck.
Nothing.
Pluck?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Fuck Chuck or Eat.
What were you going to say? The legendary what?
Legendary dogs.
I was going to say that too. Yeah, it's exactly what I was saying.
Which one do you eat?
Wow, it's tough. I guess Eat. Here's the thing. With Chuck, do you take in... This is tough, man. I hate Raikou.
Okay.
So I kind of want to eat him.
Mm-hmm. What's the blue one?
Suicune.
That's what I mean. Looks
Really?
like a dog.
I
couldn't eat Entei.
Suicune's my favorite. I'm fucking Entei. Are you kidding me? Entei's an easy fuck.
And yet, when I say Lopunny, they came for me and nobody did anything.
Entei's the only one I have to think about. He's got shackles.
It's Simba. It's Simba like coded.
Yeah, it's Mustafa. Mm-hmm. Way to pick the kid one.
Oh, yeah, because I'm worried about fucking age of consent when I'm fucking a cartoon lion. Fuck off. What do you want from me here?
This is our most fucking clipped.
Yeah. What do you want from me here? He grows up eventually. We're talking about the grown-up one.
Suicune is like, that's why like the Chuck is interesting to me, because it's like, do I let him go because he's like beautiful, or do I eat him because he looks like the best meat, you know?
I'm going for Suicune because he looks at least like a dog.
Really?
He's got a rooster tail. What fucking dog is a rooster tail?
Okay, fair.
I'm chopping that thing up.
That's awesome.
This is fantastic. This is great. We should talk about Kaiju number 8.
Pretty good. Second best show right now.
Second best show? Well, when we did our live podcast and we're like, hey, what's everyone's favorite anime of the season? Everybody said Kaiju number 8. And that blew me away.
I think it coming out in dub helps.
It's crazy.
Accessibility
is massive.
As far as we know, everyone's watching it in sub. Like, it could mean nothing. But like for me, I look forward to Kaiju number 8 because I can do anything.
I simply haven't watched a singular episode in sub.
It's awesome.
The dub is very good.
It's just so convenient. Yeah, and it's good.
Yeah.
Thankfully. Love Fang's guy, but it's because he's Rompo.
Hoshina.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's awesome. We got to see him fight Kafka a little.
Kind of, yeah. A little bit.
That was cool. Kafka fought Kaiju number 9.
Yeah.
Kind of annoying that Kafka's like, I like this. I genuinely am wondering if Kaiju number 8 is like carried by its animation for me.
What do you mean?
It's like, it's got like everything I hate in like tropey anime.
Okay.
Because Kafka like gets this power like a week ago or however long. Month maybe we'll say.
They've been training for a while, so a couple months, yeah.
But he hasn't really been training with the power.
Nope.
He's just like pulling out powers out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's like, oh, here's my classic air cannon punch.
Yeah.
And my like accelerator leg kick. And you're like,
he did that. He like stopped bullets with like a roar. And it's just like,
which he's never done before. I also thought that was weird.
Yeah, never did it. And then he's like, just cooks Kaiju number 9.
Yeah.
And it's like, I lose.
He's a lot stronger than Kaiju number 9 right now. So during the like practical test, right, they got a like aptitude fortitude reading of like 9.8 from him. Kaiju number 9 clocks in at I think like 8.0. Gotcha. And it's like a linear scale, like earthquakes. So it's like he is much stronger than Kaiju number 9, which is why he absolutely smokes him.
Yeah.
But Kaiju number 9's kind of like Maharaga, his abilities to adapt.
Right. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
God, I miss Jujutsu Kaisen.
I cannot wait for it to get back so bad. I just miss having a thing where everyone's like good.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, I know. And then we're like really good. And everyone's like, I know.
We were so spoiled because it really did feel like it was like Chainsaw Man into, I feel like there was another one right after Chainsaw Man. Blue Lock was great. We were just in
that's
such a renaissance.
That was one. I was having the same shower thought the other day where I was like, I'm just getting sad about MHA's manga ending, but I was like, oh, there's going to be a time in like 3 years when all good anime is gone. Like, I'm like, JJK is probably 3-4 years from its end. MHA is probably 2 years from its end. Chainsaw Man, part 1 is a lot better. I'll say it. Part 1's better than part 2.
Yeah.
So like when that's over, that's only going to be like season 3 probably.
Yeah. We had Zom 100, we had JJK, we had Solo Leveling after JJK.
Yeah.
We had Chainsaw before JJK.
Solo Leveling's going to be coming out for a a while.
Yeah.
That's good news.
No, but I mean anime-wise.
Yeah.
Like, we're in just such a beautiful pocket. Blue Lock, like, Hell's Paradise, which I'm now realizing is, like, fucking awesome.
I need to rewatch it because I don't, just something about it didn't click with me the first time. I love the manga. Something about watching it didn't click with me.
It's just awesome.
I think it kind of falls into the Kaiju number 8 bucket.
It came out when Chainsaw Man did. It was
At it.
alongside Chainsaw Man or right after. And I remember being like, oh man, like, this is the next big thing. And it wasn't as good.
Yeah.
But it fucking rules.
Yeah.
It's really
The
good.
manga's incredible. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. I'm just in this weird spot right now where I'm like, when JJK ends, what's in like, all right, so like Sakamoto Days just got its Netflix trailer dropped and it looks really good. Sakamoto Days is massive. The Don is coming out in October. And I'm like, Chainsaw Man's going to be around for a while. JJK is going to be around for a while. It's just so funny that like, we're kind of in this weird passing off stage between like some of the biggest IP on earth that are going to be gone in like 2 or 3 years.
One Piece hype will come back once they're like on their next island. Because right now they're like in their wind down.
I don't know.
What do you mean? It'll be like
it's
its last arc.
Yeah, but we're not. Gear 6 is never going to happen. Like I like One Piece got its like moment back in the sun when Gear 5 came out. And everyone's like, oh my god, this is incredible. Gear 6 will never happen. Like that's like hoping that Goku was going to get, you know, his Super Saiyan 100 form that you saw in like every like fan
Goku
forum.
keeps getting forms and shit.
Oh, of course, but that's because that's what Dragon Ball is.
Yeah.
Like Luffy had Gear 4 from episode 400 to 1080. You know, it's like he stayed with Gear 4 for a long ass time. Gear 5 that's riding him out to the end of the story. The only thing I see like being like, oh, One Piece is back, we're like bigger than ever, is like either like Luffy has to fight Shanks or Emu, who's like the god of the world, basically. He's like the king of the government, basically. Either of those things happen, I can see the One Piece hype coming back. Outside of that, I don't see them ever scraping Gear 5 again.
Wow.
Yeah. It's good. Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie. It's very good.
But we got the remake coming out. We got the live
fair.
action. Like One Piece is like
I'm talking about like
I'm
I'm talking about like modern events. Like I'm talking about like manga and anime current events happening. I don't think it'll ever match Gear 5 again.
Yeah.
But like season 2 of the anime or the live action is gonna be massive. And then the One Piece being made is also gonna be massive.
Yeah. We got Gachakuda coming. Which
We got,
I hope is the
which
next.
apparently Gachakuda is getting animated by Bones, which is what we got told by a chat.
But anyway, Kaiju number 8. Yeah, I don't love. He's like too strong. It's like annoying. I just hate Kafka.
You hate Kafka.
It's like not likable.
That's, you know, I don't hate is the wrong word for me at least.
I don't hate him. He's not like Zenitsu.
He's not my favorite character by any means.
Yeah.
Ocean is my favorite character. I'm very happy we agree there.
Yeah.
Reno's more interesting than Kafka because like his power is less, like it's less outside of like the standard trope. Mina is she's more interesting with her fucking railgun is dope. Even Kikoru Shinomiya has a really cool arc. She's very similar to Noelle, like very similar to Noelle. So I gravitate towards her character arc a lot. Even Iharu has a really cool arc. But yeah, no, Kafka's not the most interesting character in Kaiju number 8, which is fair because that happens in a lot of anime and manga.
It's just like, it's weird. It's a weird mix because I can't even say that he's not like struggling or anything.
Yeah.
Because he is. But it's this weird thing where he's like struggling when he's not the kaiju, and then he's the kaiju, and then he's too strong.
Yeah.
Like I wish that was more. I like the concept that it's like he knows kaiju's like the back of his hand because he's a cleanup worker, and I like the idea that then he becomes a kaiju, and now he's like on base level with everyone else, but it's his knowledge that gets him to win. Whereas it's just like again, the Kaiju number 9
That would have been cool.
because Kaiju number 9's like shooting these like finger bullets at him, and he like screams and makes a force field, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess you have like kid on a playground powers.
I would also have liked that.
Yeah.
Because here's my thing: the I'm not strong enough thing. It's like feels disingenuous when it's like all you have to do is transform to be the strongest person in the universe, and it's like Ichigo being like, I'm not going to use my Bankai in the Arrancar arc when he's like fighting some lower like tier person. He's like, I got to save my Bankai, and it's like you're putting yourself in the situation.
Yeah, it's like just do it.
Yeah, literally
like,
just do it. Like just like actually do it, and like that's like when I was like, okay, I'm done with Bleach. I think it's just like the action is so incredible. Like it might be falling into the Demon Slayer camp a little bit where the action's really good. And I love all of the characters around Kafka so much that like I'm willing to ignore it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's fair. I hadn't thought of that. Because it's what propels him into being in the Defense Corps is his knowledge. And he does kind of just abandon it later on in the story.
Yeah. It's like, and again, I think Kaiju's like one of the better anime coming out right now for sure. I still enjoy it. If it wasn't dubbed, I'd enjoy it less.
You know what we completely forgot to do?
What?
Buy and sell.
I know.
We abandoned that bit almost immediately.
We'll do it at the end.
We'll do it at the end.
But like if it wasn't dub, I wouldn't look forward to it as much because it's just nice that it's this like easy, fun action thing that I don't have to read.
It is quite nice.
Yeah.
I was like catching up with Konosuba and I've been watching it dubbed because I've been watching it while I work out. And I like forgot how much I love having something dubbed.
Just such a convenience.
I can cook, I can work out, I can just like, I need to like be sitting down on my couch locked in without my phone to watch a subbed anime. And I'm like, this is a lot of attention that you're requiring from me.
I know. Windbreaker feels like each episode is like an hour long if I watch it right after
this
Kaiju.
Most recent episode was an hour long. Like it was like them doing like the breakdown of Choji and Kame's relationship. Where they were like, oh, like Choji was realizing like the error of his ways and all of that. And I was like, oh my God, this is gone. Because it was the first episode where it wasn't 90% punching. Yeah. And I was like, I am spiraling.
And you find out that Windbreaker's not that interesting.
This was a tough look for me.
Wow.
Listen, I love that they built out this character arc. I love Umemiya being like, you know, like I'm going to, like, I love Umemiya, just like the entire concept of a lot of these fights being like, you're wrong, let me show you how. And I love Choji going on this journey of like self-reflection, being like freedom only feels free if you're sharing it with the people you love kind of thing. 10 minutes too long.
Yeah.
10 minutes too long.
Which is tough for a 20-minute long episode.
I caught myself like 4 or 5 times being like,
yeah.
What are they talking about? I would like space out while watching it, and it was like kind of what happened with me in like when I was still watching the time I got reincarnated as slime, where I was like, I'm 15 minutes in, I couldn't tell you anything they fucking talked about this episode.
Do you ever find yourself? I'll do this when I'm tired, and I'll do this when I'm really bored, where I'll start to nod off. Like if I'm watching an anime or something, and I'm really sleepy, I'll start to nod off, and I'll be like, I'll just close my eyes, like I'll just listen to it, and then I get like 20 seconds in, and I'm like, they're speaking Japanese.
I was hoping it would click. Yeah, God damn it, it's not clicking.
I was like, for Windbreaker, every now and then I'll like just be doom scrolling Instagram. I'm like, I'll get the gist. And then I'm like, I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what
they're teaching a lesson to Choji. Yeah, like, I'm not getting it.
Like, I'm just missing it.
What's so interesting to me with Windbreaker, and I will still come out and say that this is outside of Dungeon Meshi, my favorite anime of the season. I don't know where they go from here. It's like
they're out of fucking.
It's like being 5 minutes into sex with your partner. You've only switched positions 3 times. It's like I don't have any more moves after this one. I'm super tapped here. Okay.
If you didn't like Missionary or Missionary Prime, then you're gonna hate
nothing on the horizon here.
Then you're gonna hate Missionary Delta.
Like I am only augmenting my hips a little bit here. Yeah. You did a power tournament in the first 10 episodes. It was incredible. You introduced this like cool, interesting, like lot of like bad boys, Shishitoren, and like you beat them. They didn't incorporate in. They're just homies now. Yeah. And I'm like, what?
I know. I thought there was gonna be a big company merger.
Yeah, but no, they're just like, hey, I don't want your people. I already have too many people. I just don't know what episode 11 looks like.
I think it's funny that we spent this whole like half season, 2 season. Developing only the antagonists.
Yes.
The antagonists both arc.
Yeah.
And Sakura, just nothing.
All three of the antagonists arc.
Yeah.
There's the one that battles against the shark-toothed man who is like, oh, like his backstory is that like he wanted to like help him battle so he got strong, and then he like wanted to go be with Umamiya and he got pissed about it. Like they arced him in an episode, and then it was the second in command that was like, I'm doing the skinning and I hate it, and like he gives up mid-battle against Sakura Hakura, and then Choji gets an episode and a half arc.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know what Umamiya's backstory is yet. Maybe that's what we're gonna do. Like maybe I get to hear about like the four kings and Umamiya and Sakura Hakura and Suo and all of them. And I'd be stoked to hear that, because like genuinely I think one of the strengths outside of how fucking well animated and how well choreographed this show is the arcs. Like I think Choji, the other guy, and the second in command's arcs were all very compelling and interesting. I just think Choji's lasted a little bit too long. It's like the first time I've faulted anything in this show.
It lasts really long, especially because it's like, it's so bare bones. It's such a fine like arc where he's like, I want to be the freest, and then he gets it, and he's like, this is nothing, and then it's that again and again and again.
It is that
like
for
10 minutes.
18 fucking minutes. Yeah, it was a lot. I was like, this is way too much.
They cooked in the fights though.
Oh my God, did they cook?
Yeah.
Him just juicing Umamiya and him being like, your hands are like soft. That was crazy. That was so sick. I
liked him doing a real quick like flash kick at his second in command.
Yeah.
When he was like, let's go home. And he's like,
and just puts him down. Or like in the beginning of their fight when Umamiya throws a punch and it doesn't land and he coughs up blood. So many cool moments.
Yeah.
Like I think Windbreaker is in a weird position where it's not Baki and it's not Kengan Ashura. Like it's not brainless fighting. Because like Kengan and Baki they're nothing. They're like, it's like you watch it for the fights. The fights are awesome. The MC's super badass, and you're like, oh hell yeah, punch him, like gouge his eyes out. It's really cool. This falls more into the categorization of like Megalobox, like a fighting show that actually like tries to think mid-fight.
I guess.
Right?
I don't think it does it well though.
That's my issue. It's like I feel like they're walking this line of being like not brainless, but also like not like a super like thinking man's fighting show.
Yeah. I just think, it's like it's too thin and generic when it comes to like the backstories and the talking and stuff. And they're all friends at the end.
Everybody I've talked to thus far, though, has already established that they think this is going to be better than Tokyo Revengers, and I tend to agree, because if this was Tokyo Revengers, the next arc would just be a different gang with different colored jackets that they beat again, and that'd be the whole fucking show for 5 seasons.
I think there's very much a risk of that happening.
I hope not. I don't think so.
It's called Windbreaker. What do you do next if not just introduce new jackets?
I think it's got to be Sakura Hakura trying to work his way up the he's got to fight a bunch of people. Like, what about the strong guy who's got like the headband and like in the classroom? There were some people in the classroom. Like, there was the guy with the headphones. Like, so many people in his class that we never got introduced to.
Yeah.
So
I guess
it's going
to fight within
that.
his class.
Yeah.
Or take a fucking class.
Or one class. I mean, look at the school. There's no teachers there. Like, that's like, who's making them attend, genuinely? Umamiya?
No one. Just the honor system.
Just the honor system? Yeah, that Japan delinquents are so well known for. And then my last note from this was... all right, see, your fists have no weight is a sick line. Everyone getting talking to. I said, hey, Umamiya, you can teach lessons while not being juiced. And then my final note was, these boys gay. All caps.
They're very gay.
So gay.
They love each other.
Oh my God, they're so gay. Choji and his second in command are adorable. I love them.
Yeah.
I've never watched like a buddy, like we fight anime and been like, oh, this is like the last one that like stoked these feelings in me was...
Take your time.
Crab.
Sabuki Bisco.
Sabuki Bisco. That was the last time where I was like, oh, the crab got road. There's whales. Did you ever watch Sabuki Bisco?
I saw like the first episode. I didn't like it.
I hate that for you.
Yeah.
That's what you're watching next.
Ugh.
You're gonna love it.
No.
There's a very hefty-breasted woman who the MC like.
There's just that doesn't benefit the pod in the slightest.
It's everyone loves Sabuki Bisco.
Vengeance.
Absolutely. What would you make me watch if I lost homework?
Hell of a Boss.
That's fair. I kind of want to watch Hell of a Boss.
Yeah.
I'd boot that up. I loved Hazbin Hotel, and if you're like, it was crazy because I assumed Hell of a Boss was like the ugly little sister to like the Hazbin Hotel, and everybody there was like, oh no, Hell of a Boss is better. At your panel was like better than like Hazbin Hotel by far. And then you're all talking about like this one character that was better than Sir Pentious, and I was like, there's no goddamn way.
Stolas. Hell of a Boss has better characters and it has the benefit of coming out currently.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now they're releasing a new episode each month. The animation's crazy.
Really?
It has crazy fights.
I feel like Hazbin Hotel has pretty good animation.
It like this is wild.
Better.
Yeah,
Probably
way
it's not
better.
animated by Amazon, who
Yeah,
we all
yeah.
know to be not so great at the whole animation thing.
Well, that's fair. But like I think it's just because they can release them like on their time,
Yeah.
you know?
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. First season you'll like cook through because like some episodes are like 12 minutes. It's not till like later on that they start making them like half an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, people love it and it's coming out now. So like Hazbin Hotel had all this hype and people are like, I want more. And then they're like, hey, Hell of a Boss, season 2 is coming out now. And
Yeah.
so they're like doing that well.
Crazy.
Yeah. But
All right.
yeah.
I think that is all we have for anime. We talked Demon Slayer, Kaiju number 8, Windbreaker. You want to do our...
Where do they rank?
You want to do our buys and... Oh, we want to do a rank?
Or yeah, buy and sell.
Let's do our buy and sell here. So My Hero,
Hold, but it's like on the
It's
up.
on the way.
It's getting
up.
higher.
Yeah, everything post this week's episode is going to be fucking hype.
If next episode isn't crazy, the one after, I think
It's going to be like them trying to break up all the villains to like different quadrants of whatever generic Japanese city they're in.
Right.
Go Loser Ranger. Buy.
Buy high right now.
It's so listen. I don't think it's like. Here's the thing.
I haven't checked the stock.
It's
weeks.
low.
Yeah.
It's low. That and Ninja Kamui are like the two. They're like two anime from the 2 last seasons that are hilarious because everyone was like, "Oh, these are going to be absolutely incredible." And then 7 episodes in, everyone was like, "I hate this."
Well, Ninja Kamui's first episode was apparently like groundbreakingly like well
It
animated.
was insane, and then eventually everyone became CGI samurai mechs, and
Yeah.
everyone was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, they ran out of money.
They fully ran out of money, and
Yeah.
you can like see that like it's like there's one episode where you're just like, oh, they tried to write a check and it bounced.
Yeah, everyone was selling. Everyone
Yeah.
was selling on
I should have.
Kamui.
Oh man, if we'd gotten ahead of the Ninja Kamui craze and
Yeah.
sold, we'd be sitting on golden chairs right now.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Windbreaker.
Windbreaker, I'm gonna say sell because I think it's downhill from here.
You think so?
I think it's downhill from here, but I think it's at a good peak.
I tend to agree.
Yeah.
But I have faith.
Yeah.
I have faith that the introduction of all, I think we're going to have like a real class 1A situation here if they pull off the introduction of all the characters in like Sakura Hakuler's class well, because I already love Suo. And that's only like Suo and the blonde kid are only like, what, 12th of his class?
Yeah.
There's also the long hair guy who just grunts. Like, I think
Yeah.
like if they pull it off, there could be a real class 1A situation. I'm holding on Windbreaker.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
I
holding.
think the next episode, you're gonna be on your phone for 80% of it.
You know what? I'd even buy on Windbreaker.
Yeah.
I'd buy on Windbreaker. I'm gonna hold because I hold a lot of stock because I said it was gonna be like
Do you think it's gonna get higher?
I came out and said I think it's going to be the biggest anime of the season. I'm kind of correct, and I have a ton of stock from the beginning of the season. I'm holding
All right, I sell. Kaiju.
Kaiju number 8.
I'm holding on Kaiju, but this one I feel like it's we gotta wait a few years. Like it's not gonna. Don't expect to sell soon.
I'd sell on Kaiju. I would sell on Kaiju. Here's my thing. I think Kaiju is kind of in this weird Kaiju. What I've realized, and I feel like this might be the case with a lot of anime, but I'm really noticing it with Kaiju for some reason. The first 4 minutes of the episode, hype. Next 16 minutes are exposition.
Yeah.
It's to get you to the next 4 minutes of hype.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the manga is laid out. And I don't know if like it's like the manga is really good and the anime is good. It's just like the way that they're like doing it episodically. I'm like, oh, like you're never getting an important fight in the middle of an episode.
Yeah, you keep saying you wish these episodes were like 10 minutes longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could get like 2 interesting things in one episode, but it's like, hey, we did a fight and now we're having sushi. We did a fight and now we're like all headed back to the barracks. We did a fight and now Kafka's training. I think this episode was probably the best one yet. I'd say this one was probably like this or the last episode were probably the best yet. I get it. Like I'm probably being weird because I'm not as high on Kaiju number 8 as everybody else is, and I think that's impairing my judgment. Because I think like everybody out there, everybody in the comments is going to be like, why would you sell on Kaiju number 8? It's going to be the biggest anime in a couple of years. I'm just not as high on it as everyone else.
I think it needs like season 2 to really get going. Because
Yeah.
right now it's just like meandering. Like they're like, oh, we go into the city, clean up some kaiju. That's it.
Yeah.
And then like Kaiju number 9 was a good like addition. I love him. Like
Yeah.
he's a funny, silly guy. I'm also like, I hate the like, we gotta keep this a secret because they'll experiment on you and do this and that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I swear, if you just told your boss that you're a kaiju, they'd be hyped. They'd be thrilled.
Like, hey, you've already actively saved a lot of people and fought off Kaiju number 9 for people. I think you have a track record to being on the right side of things here.
Yeah, they'd be so fine. They're not gonna kill you.
Yeah. What about Demon Slayer?
Oh, Demon Slayer's a big buy right now.
You
like,
think so?
if you're buying Demon Slayer stock, like, now is the time because it is low.
Here's my thing. We're critical about things. It's literally our job to be. But Daniel, friend of the pod,
Daniel loves it.
loves the art,
Yeah.
which makes me think, are we the outsiders here?
Yeah.
Are we the outsiders being like curmudgeon-y? Are
Yeah,
we?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it, honestly.
That's my thing. I haven't heard any. The only thing I've seen is Daniel like doing his their coffee like thing where they make coffee and talk about anime, and they're like, "Oh, this is my favorite season of Demon Slayer."
But they love slice of life. Like, that's their whole bag. And this is literally slice of life right now.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, true. The paper airplane thing really solidified. Like, that's episode 12 of a romance, like slice of life show where it's like, oh, our airplanes will fly together forever kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd buy on Demon Slayer because I feel like once we get to Infinity Castle arc, you buy it low during this arc. Once we get to Infinity Castle, it's gonna blow up.
Yeah,
It's gonna be back to like Mugen Train levels hype.
I'd buy so much Demon Slayer stock right now. Or I think if we have 5 more episodes of this?
Yeah.
I like wait for the last one.
Yeah,
it's gonna get lower.
Oh, it's definitely gonna get lower. Yeah, catch it at the end. That's great. All right, cool. You already did your flashback.
Yep.
So I guess I'm gonna do. I've already like broken a bunch of news today. But so basically, the big news rundown from Nick here is one. Sakamoto Days got its trailer. It looks very good.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it. If you guys haven't read Sakamoto Days, read it. And if you don't want to, it'll be on Netflix soon. 2, big news out of MHA. MHA is officially onto its epilogue, which is crazy. There was the final baddies, done. But Horikoshi says, so the title that I'm reading here, My Hero Academia enters epilogue. Author states manga will continue for a while as it returns to its title.
What does that mean?
Basically, the epilogue is going to be like, remember, Class 1A, they're only in their first year. So, like, I think what Horikoshi is saying here as it returns to its title is that like, everyone's going back to school. So, like, the manga is going to go on for a while, and it's just going to focus, like, the epilogue is going to be like Deku and Class 1A back in class.
So there's gonna be like years of him writing the epilogue? Just fucking like write one more chapter and move on to a new thing. What are you doing?
You would assume. Well, he's been writing Vigilantes for a while.
Yeah.
So like Vigilantes is already like deep 80 or so chapters in. But said, let's see, Horikoshi additionally mentioned in the author comments for his latest chapter that while usually the conclusion of a story is short, he cannot end the manga right after the enemy is defeated. So the manga will continue for a short while. Horikoshi added the manga will return to its title, which I think means like genuinely we're gonna see like
the
10,
academia
20 chapters of Deku and Class 1A being students again.
Wow.
And
I guess that's cool.
that everyone loves that. That's like what the core of MHA fans want. And I think this is Horikoshi being like, all right, I wrote the story the way I wanted it, but like I'll give like my diehard fans what they're looking for here.
Yeah. Weird.
Also, Deku has an undercut now, and it makes me uncomfortable. It's not it's like a shave. Like, Panamom's haircut?
Yeah.
It's like
He has
Deku
half a shaved head.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deku new haircut.
I don't know if you'll get it. This chapter literally came out yesterday.
Why would they do this?
Oh, did you find it? Did you find it?
What is this?
Did you see it? He's got a side cut. He's got a side buzz. Isn't that crazy?
He looks awful.
He looks really bad.
Wow.
Yeah. But he's got like It's I'm not going to reveal much.
Keep it?
Listen,
Wow.
it was given to him in a medical procedure.
Oh,
So I don't think it's like his option to have his hair look like that, but like he might keep it.
That's so funny.
It's not great.
Oh, I liked, speaking of him keeping things, I liked in this latest episode.
Fuck, that was in my notes.
What?
That was in my
their
notes. I was going to
faces
say
got-
Deku's face is like this forever.
Yeah.
Like just butthole face permanently.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be fantastic. I love that
got
his
that.
pops out and we never see Ida's pop out, but it's just implied it happened at the same time.
Yeah.
That's great.
Do you have Best Boy?
All of our fans who came to see us at Comicpalooza, especially those who gave us things.
Yeah, it's definitely a good Best Boy. We Saw so many great people.
So many great people.
Comicpalooza was awesome.
Yeah.
I did love it, despite being absolutely miserable afterhand. We watched on the plane.
Yep. Oh my God. The plane ride back was so stupid.
Can we talk about how my piss boy is United
Some
Airlines?
of United's flights? Yeah.
Yeah. United has the most insane method of watching movies on their plane.
Their Boeing planes made in like the early 2000s. They're like DirecTV's big. DirecTV's so hot right now. And everyone was like, oh, cool. Cable on TV, like cable on like the airplane. That's awesome. I'll watch like Seinfeld or live sports or something like that. And nowadays, since cable is nothing, unless there's like sports on, it's like you're watching, there's 5 channels at the beginning. So channels 1 through 5 are 5 movies.
Yeah.
There's 5 movies to select from.
You get 5 movies to choose from, 2 of which are Tom Cruise films.
Yeah, there's
It's Mission Impossible 6.
Yep.
It's Top Gun 2. Mean Girls the musical.
the musical, yep.
Sonic 2.
2, yep.
And then one other. Predator.
Predator was the other one, yeah. And so
There's no option.
and you can't rewind them. So when the plane gets off the tarmac, they start all the movies. All the movies start. So you have to click in for one fucking movie, which means if you watch the shortest movie, you can go watch the last 20 minutes of Sonic 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. And then all of the movies restart. So it's like you have to like link up, like if you want to like catch the beginning of Predator, make sure you know exactly how long Predator's runtime is.
Yeah, but you have to watch the credits. I finished Mean Girls the musical, and I was like, all right, Nick was watching Sonic 2. I'll pop over to that. Sonic 2 was just ending.
Yep.
So Mean Girls is on its credits. Sonic just started its credits. I had to wait 10 minutes.
Yep.
Before I could start another fucking movie.
The most nonsensical way to present a movie I've ever seen.
Every movie is ending roughly around the same time.
Yeah. Literally all they have to do is like if they're already doing like DirecTV, just make an on-demand section.
Yeah.
Like just like if you're doing cable, put on demand.
It's insane.
It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was crazy. Otherwise, for whatever reason, I was gonna make a TikTok about this, and I just like can't talk or perform except for you beautiful people.
Yeah. The real important people.
I saw the Mean Girls musical, like the movie, when it came out,
Gotcha.
like a few months ago. Hated it. Thought it sucked. Wasn't good at all. Saw it on the plane.
It's a plane
loved
movie.
it. Loved it.
It's a plane movie.
Had a great time.
It's straight up just the plane movie.
If you ever want to watch a movie, if you ever want to like a movie that
Watch
you
it on
don't
a plane.
think you like, watch it on.
You're
a plane.
hostage.
Unless it's Sonic 2, because I hated it.
It's not good. It's
really bad.
It's not. It's the implication. The thing is, especially in that circumstance, you have to like the movie because the implication is reruns of I don't know, like American Dad. You know.
It's so weird. It's like Sonic is so clearly voiced by like a 38-year-old man, but he's like 12.
And they do a whole thing where like he's like, I love being a child at the end with his like human parents.
Yeah, he's like, thanks, Dad. And it's like, I thought Sonic was like 20.
He also gives up he gives up the Chaos Emeralds for that. He's like, I could have been all powerful, but I wanted to be a son. And I was like, what the fuck are we talking about? It was so weird, dude.
It's terrible. Jim Carrey's like flossing every now and then.
Yeah, they definitely throw in like a Fortnite dance for Jim Carrey every once in a while, which it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's not meant for us. It's a children's movie.
Yeah,
it's not meant for us.
But when it came out, everybody was like, are you going to react to Sonic 2? And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And they were like, it's the good one. It like saved the franchise. And I'm like, it's awful.
It was so fine. Like even below fine. It was nothing.
Yeah. So anyway.
Nothing. That's gonna listen, that might be the take that people hate most. Oh my God, are Sonic fans terrifying.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my flashback. My best boy is everybody. Do you have a best boy? You have a piss boy.
I have Piss Boy. It's
and you already
United
did flashback,
Airlines.
which means that brings us to the section of the show called Love Letters, where me and Danny gather questions from our beautiful live audience to answer live here on this their podcast. And if you guys want to watch us live or get 2 hours of additional content every single month, you can either join us over on Patreon or YouTube membership. You guys can get me and Danny's podcast live from Comicpalooza, which we put up last weekend, which is fun. Just the audio quality wasn't necessarily great enough to put out to all of you. Oh, also shout out to the guy, we didn't bring this up, shout out to the guy who thought that we were like being like, oh, this week's episode is behind a paywall, and they said Nick strikes again, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, let's talk
that's
about
my
that.
Jewish ancestors, you anti-Semite.
Did you... Is that what you think it was?
No,
You think
it's I very openly say I'm into content creation for money.
Well,
But yeah.
did you see he commented a second time?
No.
I was going to say it because it's mean.
Oh, hell
and I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
No, say it.
So to address our controversy.
I love how often you call things controversy when it was like just a simple misunderstanding.
People were mad.
It was like 4 people.
You know why I call it a controversy?
Yep.
Because people love an apology. I love when I do like a little faux pas and people are like, oh, actually, Eskimo's a like derogatory term. The real term is Inuit.
Gotcha.
Which hopefully I educated people just now.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
When that happens and I get a bunch of comments, so many people will like double down and be like, it's still, we're taking away language. It's such good PR to just be like, sorry.
Yeah.
If you say sorry, you get such a flood of nice comments.
Especially when you look like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps.
Oh, the
It
way
helps to
society is so willing to forgive any white man who ever fucking infringes on anything. It's literally what the show You is about.
Yeah, that's true. But like, so anyway, we didn't record an episode while we're at the con, and it was my fault because you at one point were like, oh, do you want to record on Thursday? But I was like swamped. My voice was cooked and I was trying to save it like for the con. And I was like, I'm swamped with work. Let's just release afterwards.
Yeah, thank God we didn't film it because you're doing great now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're crushing it.
I was like, let's just skip a week. People will understand this and that. And then we wanted to put something out for the Patreon. And so we recorded our podcast.
Our live podcast.
Our live podcast. But it's like 40 minutes, and I knew we'd be talking about what we talked on there here. And so it's like less an actual like hidden episode and more just like you get it first. So we put it on Patreon, and everybody was like, "Oh, now we're paying for. Now we gotta pay for episodes."
Was that group that were like, "Oh, we're making our offline TV thing or something"?
That's the other thing. It's a bad time to be YouTubers being like pay for things. Yeah, Watcher, and then also the Try Guys. Everyone's jumping ship on YouTube. It's a bad time.
It's so funny because like
they're so rich.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, YouTube pays
very well.
A lot.
For people with like 5 million subscribers like them.
So much goddamn money.
You're guys who try things.
Yeah, like your job is, we eat the menu at Olive Garden and you make $2 million.
Yeah.
You can cover production. Oh, you needed a camera guy in your car? Fuck off. Like what?
Like they just want more Teslas. Like it's so fine. So anyway, so we said that and people were like, oh, now we're hiding episodes behind paywalls and this and that. And some people were upset, which I got because I was like, oh yeah, like the way we phrased it made it seem like
the way that Stank phrased it. He fucking hung us out to dry. He was like, these money grubbing losers.
Well, this one person commented and they were like, Nick strikes again with his money grubbing claws.
That's me.
And the way Stank phrased it did make it seem like we were just like
Nick, who doesn't have a personal Patreon.
Yeah, that we were just like pay gating like an actual episode. So I was like, Stank, I'll take over. I'll write a message. I'll tell people it was my fault and that you're not missing out on like a quote unquote real pod episode.
Yeah.
I release this statement. Great PR, as it always is, because people love an apologetic person. Then
you had to sign it. You just had to sign it. You had to sign it.
So that you don't take the fall. Guess what? It didn't work because that guy commented again and he went, Danny, don't take the heat for Nick's like fucking greed. And I was like,
nice.
Danny coming up on top as always.
Yeah, Nick who releases 3 hours of content a week for free. A week.
This dude was like, Nick making Danny take the fall for his decisions. And I was like, all is right.
Yeah, that's me. Right. That's me. Daniel Christ Motta over here.
Danny's the best boy this week, and he became it for doing less work.
How? How am I the money grubber?
I'm good at PR.
I don't have a Patreon.
You grub.
All of my content is free. All of it.
Anyway, should we do one of these?
God, fucking, yeah, sure. So Chris Jones asks, what's the worst anime that you love? I have an answer if you need me to tap in here.
Sure.
SAO. So easily.
That's fair.
So very clearly SAO. SAO struck me in a time in my life when I was just getting into anime and I wasn't like, oh, these tropes are overdone. No, this is boring. Oh, that's creepy. I was also 16, just violently horny. So I was like, oh, get her with the tentacles. You know? I was
get her. That's Nick with his bag of popcorn.
Yeah, I'm like,
cheering.
Get her with the tentacles. Now looking back at it now when I watch SAO, like I only really watch like episodes like 7 and 8 when they have like the cabin at like the lake now, whenever I'm like sad or something. I go back and I rewatch it and I'm like, I was like, I've been very public
maybe
about
lay off with the tentacles.
Yeah, maybe like less tentacles always a good thing. But I look back and I'm like, it still holds like a special place in my heart, but only because like it got me into anime and I like loved it so violently growing up.
You're like, I still like it when you get her with the tentacles.
Listen,
but I just don't, I can't say that.
I can't scream. I can't like throw popcorn at the TV when there's less tentacles than I anticipated. Also, the new seasons are objectively very good.
I feel you. I feel like Beastars is an anime I'm constantly defending,
but it's not bad.
But it's like, I know. I feel that.
Like, Beastars is a good anime that's uncomfortable.
Beastars is so good, and I love it. And people think just because it's about furries fucking that it's not good. It's just euphoria, but everyone's a dog.
And that's like, believe it or not, that's a big sticking point for a lot of people, is the dog penis.
Yeah. So that's tough, and I get it. Episode 2 is such a hard roadblock for people because you see a rabbit in underwear, and she's very well endowed. Yes?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think episode 2 is a hard roadblock for a lot of people because it makes them realize something they didn't know about themselves.
Yeah.
I bet you 35% of people who dropped Beastars because of episode 2 saw it and went, don't like how that made me feel, and then dropped it.
Yeah. Because if you don't find it attractive, you're just like, whatever. This will stop soon.
Yep.
But if you're like...
And then it doesn't, really, but that's fine. Yeah.
Well,
that bunny gets railed.
Yeah, that bunny do get antlers.
They be passing her around.
Yeah, they sure do. But anyway.
Does it make a chimera? Still, I need to know.
None of them have like a... No, I think they talk about how like genetically, like... The genes just don't.
It's just
like in real life.
Flip.
Like if a rabbit fucks a deer in real life, it won't make a rabbit deer.
So you just can't have babies with anything outside of your animal race.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, birth control is super sick.
But it's also like a kind of weird embedded racism where you're like, I don't want to fuck anybody. I don't want to fuck any of these other wolves because then I might actually have a kid.
That's true.
You know, so it's like a weird, like I only fuck deer because they can't have my children.
I didn't even think about that.
Right?
Yeah. But it's like a self-racism.
Kind of.
Where it's like,
I guess if anybody's allowed to be,
Yeah.
Wild.
Interesting.
Deep.
Well,
these are the kind of conversations you can't have if you don't watch Beastars.
Exactly.
And
it changes you. God, does it change you?
What about Rayquaza?
You'd eat them?
Yeah.
I'd eat Rayquaza, but if you're eating Rayquaza, it's just Charizard. It's a dragon.
It's just
They're both dragons.
It's Gyarados.
Yeah.
It's a Wyvern.
I'd eat Deoxys. What the hell what's that guy up to? What's that guy about?
Deoxys.
The big Twizzler guy?
Oh my god. What about like Giratina? What does antimatter taste like?
You're going too...
Am I going too
they're
far?
All like
I'm going
wearing
too,
fucking armor.
I'm going too far
like,
beyond the
what's
paler.
Dialga taste like?
I mean, I've seen Dungeon Meshi. Armor's got meat in it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, we do have to think of a Dungeon Meshi. God, if they did a crossover, just Lyos fucking devouring Pokemon.
Lyos would be crushing it.
I'd love it.
There's the most recent episode. He gets introduced to there's the society that's living inside of the dungeon, basically. And they don't have regular animals. They only have monsters. And so their cows are minotaurs, but female minotaurs. And they let him grab the minotaur nipple, and he's so happy. And I love it it's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's like seeing the best guy you know. It's like the guy on TikTok who loves trains.
Yeah.
It's like just watching him see a nice train.
Yeah.
And you're like, hell yeah, dude. Get that train.
You get it.
You get that train. All right.
You get her with the tentacles.
We're gonna do 2 more hours of the Pokemon you would eat, guys.
You know what's funny? People get very sensitive about. There were TikToks going around of these little animations of someone just boiling up a Squirtle, but very ASMR-esque.
Oh yeah.
Half of the comments are furious about it. They're like, "This is in poor taste," and it's just interesting to me that people are like, "Yeah, I'll eat a cow, I'll eat a pig. Don't fucking touch a Pokemon."
If you wouldn't eat a turtle, that I understand. Yeah. If you're like, "Oh, don't eat Squirtle, I don't eat turtle."
Yeah,
but you upset about your local Bulbasaur, your local romaine lettuce animal?
Yeah,
what are we talking about here?
I know.
I've seen it where they peel the lettuce back on Bulbasaur.
yeah.
I genuinely think Bulbasaur might be the best answer.
Yeah.
It's a hot pot in an animal.
Yeah. And he's healthy. It's the healthiest one.
Yeah.
Got cabbage on him. Yeah. But all right.
All right. Me and Danny are going to go eat Pokemon. Bye. We love you.
Bye.
And now for my next number, I'd like to